Come on, man.
What's going on, everybody?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you tune into the Vulcan Soapbox where we harness the power of logic and teach you how to reason at the highest level. I am your gracious host, Enos, and I'm with my guy, Victor and Vulcan. What's going on, Victor? You muted.
All is well, brother. All is well. Another day off the calendar. Great day to be back. Appreciate the invite.
Man, for sure. And let me bring in my guy, Vulcan, while we do the show, man. What's up, bro?
What's going on, all the folks out there, all the people that appreciate critical thinking, all the people that appreciate asking more questions and get a better understanding, and just don't want to go with all the assumptions of the common era that we're in. One of my favorite quotes that I'll start this show off with is by Dr. William Lane Craig, and he says, "The job of the philosopher is to discover the assumptions and commonly held beliefs." And there's a lot of assumptions out here, so we're gonna uncover some of that. Hopefully, everybody benefits from it, and we can have some fun while we do it.
Yes,
Also,
sir.
on the point too, so I noticed for some reason it's still not letting me make my Facebook live public. I don't know what happened with that, but just wanted to give you that heads up.
Okay. All right. And my guy, Will, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
Man, doing all right, bro. Glad to have you, man.
Already. That's what's up, man. Pleasure to be here. Back in the building, chopping it up with y'all brothers, man. I've been watching the show. Hey, a wonderful array of topics, critical thinking, breakdowns, a lot of information, man. Yo, keep them coming.
All right. That's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and get to the first topic, get into the first video, and I'm going to get y'all thoughts on this. All right. Here we go. Oh, it's muted.
Talk in feelings. A lot of women say, like, I feel this way, and they talk in feelings. A lot of men aren't receptive to that. You know, they want to hear the logic and the evidence behind it. That's better communication in general. I think that I've had to unlearn talking in feelings and had to learn rooting my arguments and my decisions in logic and evidence. Feelings are fleeting, but evidence is everlasting. A lot of women say, like, I feel this way, and they talk in feelings. A lot of men aren't receptive to that. You know, they want to hear the logic and the evidence behind it. That's better communication in general. I think that I've had to unlearn talking in feelings and had to learn rooting my arguments and my decisions in logic and evidence. Feelings are fleeting, but evidence is everlasting. A lot of women.
You muted.
Fellas. First question of tonight. Do you think being emotional means being irrational? I'm going to go ahead and start with Will. Do you think being emotional is being irrational? Yes. Oh, you muted. I got you.
Uh, Hello?
Yes.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Nah, not at all,
You
man.
said no? All right, we're going to move it
I
around. Let's get to
mean,
Victor. We're going to get to explain your why. Let's go straight to Victor. What's up, man?
No.
all right.
You said no?
Nope.
All right. Vulcan.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to also say no.
You going to say no? All right. What you got, Will? Go ahead and explain your why.
I mean, you know, the emotion is it is what it is. I mean, how can it be rational when it's a part of the existence for who you are? You know, emotions is the connectivity to feel something, to actually be able to feel. And like they say, sometimes you gotta go with your gut, women's intuition, whatever you want to call it, man. But I mean, even to feel sad, you know, to be emotional about that, or to love, like Nah, that's not at all, not at all, not at
Not
all.
enough.
You know,
Okay.
maybe in the context that she talking was that a woman? That was a dude, right?
Hey, you know what,
Or that was
man?
a girl with a deep voice?
Bro, because we got different groups that send us videos that want us to cover these videos. So when I saw that, I did have to Google her name, and she says if she's a woman, she has a deep voice. I think she had like an accident when she was younger, but I was checking the neck, but not from my understanding, she's a woman. From my
Okay.
understanding, yeah, just with a deep voice, yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
Okay,
Who
yeah,
is?
yeah, yeah. I didn't want to disrespect. You know
I
what I'm
know I
saying?
was with
But
you,
some
yeah.
women got that Tony Braxton. I like that Tony Braxton,
Yes,
Anita
sir.
Baker sultry voice. I'm with it, but not like that though. I
Yes,
heard it a
sir.
little too deep, so I thought it was, you know. But I mean, if we use it in the context of what she was saying, I guess seemed like it pertains to a relationship between men and women.
Right.
Um,
Let me go ahead. Let me bring my guy Victor
yeah,
here so he
your
can answer this
emotions are
question.
involved. I think you need a little bit of both, emotion and logic. Uh,
Yeah, I'm gonna bring Victor in so he can give his whys. Go ahead, Victor.
It's just emotion, just being. It's part of being human. That's just it. It's not a lot
Mm,
to expand on. Like, I think that being emotional, um, is the state of being. How you choose to express your emotions is something else.
I like that. I like that.
mm,
All right, Voka, what you got for us?
So I definitely agree with most of what I've heard. I don't think that it's a situation. Well, obviously, to be emotional is not to be irrational. To be irrational is to violate some laws of reason, or to speak or to communicate in a fallacious way. That's what it being irrational, or to think or communicate in a fallacious way. Being emotional, that's your gas. That's the primer. That's what gets you going. You know, people can't always be passionate about some things, and sometimes it shows up in their effort and their level of productivity and all those different kind of things. But when people have a certain passion, there's a lot more fodder to get things done. So emotions are meant to be helpful in those kind of ways. You know, they even have what they call crimes of passion. You know, where they
Yeah.
look at it differently because you're in the moment, and you're doing things because of this strong feeling you have on the inside. I think I want to expand this out a little bit more because on the surface, not really much there. But one thing I do hear people say all the time, just out and about, is, "Oh, she being emotional right now." Oh, like you, that's coming from you. That's all. This you just speaking out of your emotions. People tend to dismiss people who are speaking in a way that's more demonstrative of what they're feeling on the inside. And I think that's where you see people can be dismissive at times because of what somebody's displaying. So that's what I would just say to my answer for the question, which was, is being emotional, being irrational? No, but you do hear people say that a lot when they're out and about, or they're communicating with other guys. You acting like a female right now, or they be talking to a lady and be like, "You being emotional right now," and they put it in such a negative light with a negative connotation on being emotional. When being emotional, as it's been pointed out already, just means you care a lot of the times about whatever it is. You may not care about the right thing, you may care about the wrong thing, but you care about something. you know. So that's what I would say about why this ends up. Even though on the surface people will say, "Yeah, being emotional is not a bad thing." In the heat of the moment, you'll hear people that. What's
All
up,
right.
Dre?
what's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey, yo, Voka, but just push your mic a little bit. I think I heard some
Could y'all hear
some
me?
rallying going on. Hey, what's up, Coach? Man,
What's going on?
what's up, man? You know what? Since you just came on, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play this video. Matter of fact, let's get to the next question. I'll play the video for you to answer the first,
All
so you
right.
can get caught up. All right. So next question I want to ask the panel: do women need to learn to speak more logically to be taken more seriously by men? Maybe you don't have to watch the video for this. You can just let me start off with let me start with Will. Do women need to learn to speak more logically to be taken more seriously by men? You just give us
Yeah,
yes or
yeah,
no
yeah. I
right
think that
now.
goes for women and anybody else breathing across the board. Oh, my bad. Yeah, yes. Yeah. I mean, the question was, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, my
We'll
answer.
give you some time to think about it and explain you why. So you say yes right now? My God. All right, let's bring Coach. What's up? What you think, man?
Uh, yeah.
I
You say yes?
caution to I caution to be more taken seriously, but I'm gonna say yes for now.
Yes for now. All right, what's up, Victor?
Yes.
Yes? All right. All right. Vulcan.
I'm gonna say yes, but also for men as well.
Oh, for men. Okay. All right. All
I
right.
think that's implied. I think the part about men is implied. It don't even require mention because if you want to be taken seriously by men, then you know if you want to get respected, you got to be able to be a bridge of information no matter what. So I
hmm.
don't think it's I think it's implied because if men's supposed to be the standard for respect, then I don't think it's worth saying both ways on this right here at all.
Yeah, I forgot Help the Bear gave you a shout out for the last question, Victor. Shout out to Help the Bear. Said my thoughts exactly. Victor, what up, Help the Bear? Also, man, I see you will growth. All right, man. All right, so Will, go ahead and explain why you think women should speak more logically and take it more seriously by men.
Thank you.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah, I just got caught in a thought when my man just came on, man. I don't know his name. What's his name? Dre?
Help the bear.
My man right here that just came on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
What's
Coach
happening, brother?
Andre. Yeah,
we're good, bro.
Coach.
Yeah, Coach Andre, man.
Oh, that's Help the Bear right there.
No, this Coach Andre, but in the
Oh, Coach
comments,
Andre, what's happening, man?
yeah.
What's up, bro?
Already,
I just
Mm.
realized
already.
that.
I'm Will, bro. Shit, nice to meet you, man.
All right.
So y'all can see everybody, man.
Yeah, yeah. I done seen that before in the comments. I done seen it before.
All right.
But yeah, when he said to be taken more seriously, that kind of got me thinking a little bit the way he said it. Because I mean, yeah, you could probably take her serious to a degree with a lack of logic. You could be like, yo, her derriere is serious. I could seriously smash that for the rest of my life, have kids. Like, even if you wanted her there for that one thing or a couple of things, she could cook good or whatever. I mean, that makes him serious to her. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, my answer remains the same. I mean, logic for anybody. If you want to be taken more serious, then I would like to deal with a logical person,
Okay.
man or woman. But yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, take more
yeah.
serious. I
More
got that.
seriously, no doubt, no
All
doubt.
right.
Definitely
All
got
right.
to have some
Let's
logic,
move
dude.
it around. Let me get a coach up in here.
Yeah, it's, and I agree with what James said. It goes across the board for both men and women. I think we live in a unfortunately, we live in a very highly emotional and low emotional intelligence society to where people don't know how to separate their emotions from their thoughts and what they're saying. So if we learn to be a little bit more logical, a little bit more patient, a little bit more, um, just take time to think about our words and what we're going to say. It will go a long ways in terms of getting our point across.
Hmm.
It'll go a longer ways with being understood, and it'll go a long ways of bridging the gap between men and women and with each other. So yeah, I really think that we have to do a better job of that overall. Somebody breathing real hard.
Oh my, I got you. Okay. Shout out to bye. All right. What's up? What's up, Victor? Talk to me, man.
Um, said, do women need to learn to speak more logically to be taken more seriously by men?
Yeah,
I
this your
think,
topic right here, man. We need you.
yeah. This is setup right here. So let me expand on this, man. Um, you can't have the least amount of resources and think you can make the rules. You can't be in a position of need and think that you could talk like you're above people. You have to respect the protocol that it takes to gain access to what it is that you want. Nobody's gonna um, protect someone that disrespects them. You know, if you are not open to having your opinion changed, then you're less likely to be connected to that particular individual. Without respect, there's no empathy. Respect is currency. In fact, when people start saying things like respect has to be earned, no, respect has to exist first. And then you have to give people a chance to remove or increase that respect with their behavior and how they talk to you. You know, logic is very relative, believe it or not, because some people they they can build their logic off of something that's extremely subjective. Like logic is it has to be tied to something. Like you can be logical about something that's completely irrational. You might be dealing with somebody with a fourth or fifth grade education, so their logic is limited to them being fourth and fifth graders, right? If we want to start a healthy dialogue off, we have to determine, is it rooted in facts, opinions, statistics, stuff that we can all agree on. And if we can't come up with a foundation of what's a left or right limitation, then the interpretation of logic is going to be relative, you know. But
Yeah.
if we have agreed upon that these three or four different, you know, parameters that we set to have a discussion, like at the beginning, you set the rules, right? So everything that we discuss has to be in line with the rules. Everything outside of that is considered to be illogical because we've already set what the expectation is, right?
Yeah. Rules of
But
engagement.
but everybody ain't raised right, bro. The the logic that some people are raised with compels them to act out and be validated by their emotional responses. You know what I'm saying? Some people want to pull up on you, some people want to cuss you out, some people want to hurt your kids, whatever else that you might care about. And in their upbringing, that's the way that logically makes sense on how things need to be dealt with. You know,
Okay.
on another frequency, if you care about solving the problem, then we're not going to argue and be disrespectful about it. We're just going to say, hey, have you considered this angle of approach? Just like if all of us decided that, you know, we're traveling in the same direction, and I say my way might be faster, you say, and everybody else says the same thing. Well, let's just lay them all out and see which ones make sense. And then at that point, through process of elimination, we're going to figure out what makes sense, and we might have to try your way going and your way on the or your way on the way back. You know,
Mm-hmm. All
so
right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead.
depends on what we
I'm
agree
gonna
on.
bring. Hey, you dropped some bars, bro. As far as because you hear that phrase a lot. You have to earn respect. You saying respect has to exist.
Yeah, like there's a general level of respect that's already existed right now on your panel.
Bars,
You know what
bars.
I'm saying?
All right, all right. So let me bring Vulcan in here, man. Talk to us, bro. What stood out?
So what stands out to me about this, I first want to address what Victor was saying, because I do think it's pretty sad that it has to be addressed about men being more logical. So I do agree with them about that. That should go without saying. But part of the purpose of this show and why this show's even grown the way it has, and the inspiration behind it, was a lot of men, you know, that couldn't reason as well as they would like to have been able to, and they didn't notice it until a man that was a lot more reasonable showed up and started asking them certain questions. And okay, you know, how you justifying that? And they're like, why am I have a level 10 conviction about this and a level 6 ability to explain it, you know? And then then men who are reasonable, good men who want to be leaders are like, that shouldn't, if I'm at a level 10 conviction, I should be at about a level 10 ability to justify this, right?
20,
You know, sorry, go ahead.
20, level 22.
Yeah,
Just
level 20. Yeah. And so what happens is, like, a lot of guys through work and through learning about epistemology, learning about logic, learning how to explain things, how to justify, how to, you know, vet for their biases, they started realizing they were better able to discern the world around them, all the different internet personality and TV personalities. Okay, now when I listen to that guy speak, I'm able to differentiate between the rhetoric that he's communicating, the sophistry, versus the parts that he's making that are actually sound reasoned, or points that actually he can justify and back up, and I can actually research myself. And so guys started getting those tools, and that's pretty much where I came up with the idea that, you know, men need it today just as much to women, just to be able to lead the right way. Because when I would talk to women about like them being emotional, and men, you know, and not them not being submitting to the logic of the man, they're like, well, these men are not much better than us, you know. And then being able to hear conversations and see text messages and all kind of different stuff, you realize a lot of these guys are very irrational, and they're communicating to the point, like, you know, what we made before. They're being raised by women. So you said their logic, they're like you mentioned that their logic they're raised with. So now these are grown men that are still reasoning like their mom would reason, and gut feelings and stuff like that. And you're like, what's going on? Like, you a man, why are you leading? Why is every sentence starting with I feel like this, I feel like that? Is this a statement of fact? Or are you just letting us know how you feel about it? That's two different. I'm gonna internalize that two different ways. And so, your point. That's it. So yeah, I'm you 100% on that. But to go back to the main point,
man, I'm playing. Don't worry about me, man.
Yeah. Got
He paid the organ because he preaching.
Yeah. And so do women need to learn to speak more logically? It depends on what the purpose is for. If a woman's dealing with their guy and they're just telling them what they feel about a certain meal, or, you know, I just don't feel good. If somebody's just venting, then vent. That is how you feel, and that is appropriate. Yeah. There's no, you know. Now we're gonna impose this feeling into aspects of our lives, like solving problems. You know, you're accusing me of something. You're trying to hold me accountable. I felt like you disrespected me earlier. Now we got to move from, do you feel like I disrespected you? Do you know that I disrespected you? Do you think I need to know which one it is? If you say I feel like you disrespected me,
why do you feel disrespected?
Yeah, exactly. Because I felt like I was disrespected. I thought about it and I was like, that's just my ego. I wasn't disrespected at all. That was my ego. You know, there's times when that happens. So I think, to answer the question, I know Will had a point he wanted to bring up, but I think that women need to be more logical if they want men to take what they're saying more seriously, to bring it to action.
Women need to be what their man wants them to be if they want a man. Bottom line.
All right, Vulcan, go ahead. Try to push your mic a little bit. Did y'all hear some?
No, he's straight. Like,
he's straight? Okay, that's part on my end. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Will, you wanted to add this? What you wanted to add?
This mute is kicking our butt.
I got you.
No, he got a delay. He has a delay.
Oh. Maybe does he need to go out and come back in? Is that because it wasn't like that earlier? We weren't live back at that time, but
no, it really wasn't a point, man.
Oh, it is a delay.
Oh, for real? And
well, just go ahead and log in, or if you got to restart your phone and come back in, it's a delay. I think that might help.
Yeah.
All right. So look, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he got like a 5-second delay.
I'm a big Kung Fu Flicks guy, but that delay
he's
was
still talking.
Yeah,
he must be here. Yeah, I said, Will, just go ahead and restart your phone and come in and come back. All right, man. So, yeah, I think we covered that pretty well, man. Let's get into the next video, man. All right, here we go. All right, this mute button's kicking me.
I was a little toxic, a little hood.
You able to take the?
That was my original type. You know, I liked the fast money, the fast lane. You know,
washed up.
But now that I'm going into a more era, I want something more mellow, calm, family oriented. I have a son, so I don't want a hood figure. So I went from more my YG type to my Michael B. Jordan type. Okay.
When the last time you dealt with a toxic guy?
It's been about 2 years. It's been about 2 years, and again, it's hard, but I'm not going back to my type per what I was told. Like I said, again, I'm a mother. I have almost 15-year-old, so someone that's family oriented that I can bring around. You ain't gonna bring a hood figure home. Well, at least not me. So, yeah.
For some reason, I don't really believe it. I think it's still in there based off how you answering the question. It don't seem so sincere. It seemed like it's still in there, like a little sprinkle. What is it?
So my original type is
play it again.
A little toxic, a little hood. that was my original type. You know, I liked the fast money, the fast lane, you know. But now that I'm going into my more era, I want something more mellow, calm, family oriented. I have a son, so I don't want a hood figure. So I went from more my YG type to my Michael B. Jordan type.
Okay.
When the last time you dealt with a toxic guy?
It's been about 2 years.
2 years.
It's been about 2 years, and again, it's hard, but I'm not going back to my type per what I was told. Like I said, again, I'm a mother. I have almost 15-year-old, so someone that's family oriented that I can bring around. You ain't gonna bring a hood figure home. Well, at least not me. So, yeah.
For some reason, I don't really believe it. I think it's still in there based off how you answering the question. It don't seem so sincere. It seemed like it's still in there, like a little sprinkle. What is your type?
All right, first
Yo, yo,
question
yo,
I
yo,
want
yo,
to
yo,
ask.
yo, yo, yo.
My guy Will back on. That sounded a lot better. All right, first question I got. Do women need to learn? Oh, my bad, y'all. I thought I had oh, it's still hidden.
Yeah,
There we go.
my bad, fellas.
No, my bad. All right. Is it a red flag when a woman likes hood dudes? Let's get it back to speed. Let me bring Will back in. Is it a red flag when a woman like hood dudes? Yeah or nay?
Me?
Yes, sir, Will.
Oh, nay. Nah, it's nothing wrong with that. Nah,
All
it's not a
right.
red flag.
We got no. Let's bring coach in here.
Hell yeah, at this old age. What?
Okay, that's based on age. All right, who we waiting on? Victor. Talk to us, man.
No, she could like whatever she like.
Okay. All right. Vulcan.
Of course, man. Come on now.
All right, before Will give you an answer, Help the Bear said, "Now from the streets you came, so the streets you shall remain." I don't believe you. You need more people, shall All right, so let's get my guy Will in here. Go ahead and explain.
Because, man, I mean, by default, more of us is from the hood than we are from the suburbs. Like,
Mm.
9 times out of 10, when you associate the so-called hood, that's either where you came from, your grandmama came from, or your cousins and them. More people in your family is
Say
gonna live in the
generational hood.
so-called
That's okay.
hood. Yeah, man, we done all pluck
Let's talk
roaches out the
about it.
cereal box, man, like Ghost say. So, yeah, like just because you moved on up like the Jeffersons, that don't mean you ain't from the hood. Niggas is
Mm.
hood dudes for real. It's corporate hood dudes, all that. Nah, it ain't no
All
problem.
right. So
Yeah.
my man Will said we got hood roots. Would that be fair to say?
Facts.
Our roots. All
Facts.
right. Let me bring my guy. Let me bring my guy Will in here. Talk to me, bro.
Who that mean?
Coach. No, my
Oh.
bad. Let me bring Coach in here.
Oh yeah, man. So in reference to what your boy just said, there's a difference between where you're from and your characteristics, personality.
Okay.
Like being hood is a mindset. Being hood is a lifestyle. It's not where you're from. So you can be from the hood and grow from that, and you're not a hood person anymore. Just because you come from the hood doesn't mean you're still hood.
Okay.
There's a difference between being able to being up in an environment and then you're mature to you're no longer a product of your environment versus still having that same mentality like you did when you was a child or a young man. That's the difference. So when I say a person that wants somebody hood, I'm not talking about a person that wants somebody that came from the hood. I'm talking about a person that still has a hood mentality. A hood mentality is childish. A hood mentality is focused on violence. A hood mentality is focused on respect looking like something that is not supposed to be respect. It's focused on keeping some code that's killing us out here in these streets. Those type of things are what's taking us out daily, is that hood mentality. So if a woman wants that, then that just shows me where she is maturely. That's the reason why the woman just said, when I was younger, I wanted that. There's a Bible verse that says, when I was a boy, I did what boys do. When I became a man, I put childish things behind me. That hood mentality is a childish thought process. You're supposed to grow out of that and mature to something that actually is going to be conducive to our growth and to what's better in our community.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about it.
Yo,
Talk
was
to
he
us,
really playing the
Victor.
organ over there, man? But I heard him say it. That's why I was interjecting earlier. I was agreeing with what Vulcan was saying 100%. But I think it was two things I was on that last question before I logged out. I wonder if he was really over there playing the organ because y'all mentioned it. I was like, yo, he really. Oh, that's like a sound effect.
I got a sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet. And then another one was the question said, the women need to learn to speak more logically. I'm just kind of joking with that, but it says speak. So I'm like, what if she was like a deaf mute?
Hold
You
on.
know what I'm saying?
Let's focus. Let's focus on this question right now.
Okay.
All
My
right.
bad.
Let me bring Victor here. Talk to me, man.
Is it a red flag when a woman likes hood dudes?
Mm-hmm.
Not for the dude that's hood. who cares what she likes? You know what I'm saying? I don't want her.
Mm-hmm.
If she don't do what I want her to do, she ain't got no equity in my situation. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care. I don't care what hood people like.
Mm.
They don't care what we like.
Yeah.
Feelings
Okay.
mutual. Why we care about what they like? And I'm from the hood, so I don't care.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the thing I feel, man. You know, they say take the hood out, but you know, take them out the hood, but you can't take the hood out. Like
Hood, keep 'em
to
looking
me,
good.
yeah, to me, it's almost like saying a woman shouldn't like Kendrick Lamar or Will Smith. They really from the
Hold on, man.
hood.
We're gonna get you to. Sorry about that. We're gonna get you
Oh,
to
my bad.
give
My
your
bad.
rebuttal and
I
explain.
go around the
Let's
table first.
let's get Vulcan here.
So just to keep it short and sweet, so we can get the dialogue going and express our disagreements a little bit further and deeper. I'll just say, for me, I like what the point that Coach made, because I do think we got to make a distinction here. Obviously, it's loosely connected to where you're from. I'm sure all of us have been around guys who are hood that didn't grow up in the hood. It's a cultural thing. When I mean that a behavior, a set of values. Anybody can pick up the hood mentality, if you want to call it that, anytime they want to. And the lady in the video kind of expressed, she said she brings up quick money. That was one of the things she brought up in the video. So she's given us somewhat of a definition of what she means by hood guy. She's not talking about where he's from per se, although there is a correlation there. But her point is, she's saying that it's quick money. It's a certain type of man. It's a certain type that gets them aroused in a sexual way. And so it's that behavior, that attitude is what we're defining as the hood thing. I mean, we got the T.I. song with Beyonce, I need a soldier, someone the hottest around, all these, Trick Daddy, they all have songs. Lil Wayne, they all got songs talking about how you need a hood dude. That's what the Black community means when we say a hood person. We don't mean where you're from. We mean a certain attitude, the way you carry yourself, a certain way that you deal with people, how you define respect, how you relate to women, how comfortable you are with women. All those different things goes with a certain mentality. And so that part is where I think the red flag really is, just because of the fact that those values don't align with society. Those values don't align with building strong families. And real quickly, with Victor's point about, hood people, they not focused on what we focus on. We're not focused on what they're focused on. That's true. I think the difficulty is if we don't address it, and if we don't educate people about the dangers of it, if it gets to be too powerful of an influence, what we're going to see is even more of us not being able to go to the ATM without having to look behind our back.
Do we need to address hood behavior anymore, though?
Say it again.
Do we really need to address hood behavior anymore, though? Like,
yes.
Let me say this. Let me answer that question this way. And in short, I look at like there's people who are hood, and there's like I would call it hood sympathizers, people that are on the fence that can go either way about it. I think people can be reached. That's what I would say to that question. There's people that I would agree with you that they're beyond. We got to just focus on our mission and ignore them. I think there's people that are teetering the fence, probably a lot of kids. You know, a lot of my friends that I grew up with were having decided they want to be a hood guy or they want to be like their father or their uncle or whoever it was. They had to make that decision, and the hood looked so much more attractive. The girls were into it. So who's going to help teeter? Who's going to help with that seesaw right there? For those who are on the fence, that's my answer to your question. What do you think about that?
I think the people that's going to help are the negative examples. Because if they're not listening to people, like nobody wants to listen to someone that didn't grow up like them. So it's going to take someone that grew up like them to come back and be able to make it make sense. You are not going to go get some guy from Afghanistan to tell somebody from Georgia that they could be living a much better life. You're going to have to deal with somebody from Georgia that grew up similar to be an inspiration and somebody that relative that they can relate to before they say, you know what, I might need to take what he's saying seriously or what she's done seriously.
I want to address what you said right there, because it is not a disagreement between you and I, but I could be the anomaly. When I was a kid, I did listen to people that came from all different walks of life. One, I read a lot of books. I was in programs. I had to read a lot of books. You know, if you test a certain way, they put you in certain programs. I read books, people in Indonesia and Africa and all kinds of their places, and I related to them in a lot of ways. And so, like, I did when I watched the movies. Me and Enos talk about this all the time. I said when I used to watch movies growing up, you know, Malcolm X or watching Remember the Titans, I took what they were saying as true. Like I didn't take when they're saying we're all the same, and I'm thinking like, wow, I got to go apply this in the real world. That was my mentality. I'm not saying that Enos took it that way when we were, growing up the same age, but he may have, he didn't. But I really thought that I could relate to people who didn't have my same cultural context.
Let me step in. Let me ask a couple questions. Right? Did those inspirational things that occurred? What kind of environment did you grow up in? Did you grow up with your father or without?
My background's very diverse. So I had a long stint where I lived with my father, like my senior.
Be careful. Personal questions.
Yeah.
No, because I get it though. I'm just
I don't mind answering to some extent. So my life was all over the place, but I had stints when I lived with just my dad. Towards in senior year, even earlier than that, but I had times I lived with just my mom. I had times when I lived with my grandparents. I had times when I lived with parents, his boyfriends and girlfriends. My life was all over the place when I was a child. So
okay. So the reason I asked that question, because a lot of the guys that don't listen to men in general is because they grew up without men. They don't have a reason to listen to men. You understand what I'm saying? So like if you grow up without male presence, eventually you're going to end up having to deal with male presence no matter what. The man in uniform theory is what I call it. Mm-hmm. Like for instance, you leave work, you feeling emotional, your boss send you home, and then you drive out the parking lot crazy, and a man in uniform pulls you over in a police car. You got two choices to make. You're going to deal with this professionally so you can get on about your way, take your warning or your ticket, and go home because you're already emotional. Or you're going to overreact. You choose to overreact. The man in uniform slapped them bracelets on you, throw you in the back of the police car. Then the man in uniform transports you while you still got your work uniform on, by the way, to the police station. The garage doors come down, and then they hand you off from the police car to the correctional facility workers. They hand you another uniform, and you take off your work uniform. And then the uniform they hand you, there's orange and white with them orange Crocs. They put you in general population. And now you still got to listen to somebody else for general population politics with a man that's got the same uniform on. Because the whole time you grew up without a dad, you run around here saying, I don't fear no man. I don't fear nobody but God. But forget the whole time that God put man here so you could listen to. Okay.
If you don't mind, Victor, I'm going to interject. I know you said you had two questions. Was this the second question you want to ask?
Yeah, I'll get to it. So
right.
I'm at the end of it.
Because I want to get everybody involved. So
my point is that when you dealing with a lot of people that's dealing with hood thinking and hood movement, most of those people that connect to each other are going to connect to each other because they relate to not having fathers in their lives. So they're meant for each other because they reproduce with each other. That's what they're attracted to. So you can't say it unless you've had an alternate experience that shows you otherwise, that those people aren't meant to be with each other.
Okay. All right. let's get some comments. They help the bear said a chick told me she like hood dudes. I told her I feel sorry for your sons. Ouch. All right. Also, help the bear says with that said, I think they mean active hood guys. All right. All right. So one last comment I'm gonna get to you, Will. No equity in my situation, therefore you get no participation. My bad.
You see how
Victor
I
talking.
always do this. He has mouth. That's why he talks like that.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was just me. I didn't pay attention to school. That's it. You ain't got to give me the excuse, man.
Okay,
no,
okay. Look it
no,
out. It is true though. Yeah.
no. On a serious note, so look, Will, you're the only one that said that it wasn't a red flag that women.
I
No,
agree with him. It
Huh?
I
ain't.
be I be I be feeling like an alien, man. I be feeling like my logic off, like I'm crazy or something, man. Like I mean, hood is just pretty much short for neighborhood.
Okay.
All the kids I grew up with in the neighborhood, our dream was to make it out, get mama the crib, get daddy the Cadillac, and then give back to your community. Like you got these dudes, like I say, let's take Will Smith out of Philly. I heard he used to knuckle dudes down and really was, like came from the rough side of the tracks, so to speak. So even now, with millions of dollars, he still get up there and slap niggas. Him and oh my bad, I'm sorry, man. But I'm saying you see hood actions in all walks of life. Like if she was with a dude that burned incense and listened
Hmm.
to Eric Benet records with sandals on his feet, you know what I'm saying? And do yoga poses, you'd be like, oh, that's the good dude, but he be bad. Like, look at Puff.
Okay.
I mean, Puff or Diddy, his family was hustlers, but he came up kind of
Okay.
opulent, had a little bit of money. He out here doing heinous things from his level. So you would have to really get with that chick and break her down to what she saw in these dudes. It's principal dudes in the hood, and it's Ivy League cats who wear ties, who they supposed to look at as the guy you go for, snorting cocaine and out here. You know what I mean? Like, come
Yeah, a
on,
lot of
like,
pack.
like hood got the wrong connotation. So many of our ideas and words that was cool
I
is
got you.
like a negative
I got.
connotation. Like, nah, we all from there, and the goal, from my understanding in being hood, was to come and make it and basically be connected and tethered to your community still, no matter where you
All
go.
right,
That's
hold
what
on,
made
Will.
you.
Hold on, Will. Let's, because I gotta get my guy coach it here. And just share any thoughts, any disagreements you want to express with whether it's with Victor, Vulcan, or Will. Just share
Yeah,
whatever stood out
he
to
was.
you.
I think he's stuck on where the person is from because he was just talking about Will Smith. If you look at Will Smith right now, he's not a hood individual. Regardless of where he came from, he grew from that. Now, having everybody's gonna make actions. That don't make them a hood person because they have an act of violence. It's not so much what you do; it's your mindset. It's how
Mentality.
you go about life. It's what you value. The things
Most
that you value is what makes a person hood. Would you say,
Okay.
James?
I said most hood men, men in general, but especially most hood men don't even respect Will Smith.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. He's been fighting for respect since he came out.
Beginning.
Because he don't curse in his rhymes and whatever the case may be.
I was
A lot of
upstairs.
Okay, take Kendrick. Is Kendrick a hood dude?
Is that open for the panel? I'm gonna say yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
everybody, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Successful man.
I don't
Like
know.
why wouldn't a woman want to
All
deal
right.
with
So,
him? Why is that a red flag if she messed with Kendrick Lamar or
Well,
anybody in his crew, for that
all right.
matter?
Let's you asked. Let's get Vulcan here. What you think?
well, I just want to say this real quick because I think we're going to miss each other in part of this conversation because there's a range, when it comes to this hood thing. Like I said, a lot of us have been around guys who grew up in the suburbs, 2-parent home. Everybody's a doctor, lawyer, dentist, whatever the case may be. And because of hip hop, they gravitated towards a hood mindset. They're wearing their clothes not like the men in their household, but like the kid, like the people do on the music videos. So that kid can adopt a hood mentality and not be from the hood at all. It's a persona, so that when he leaves his home, if you meet that kid, and especially if you were non-black, so you had less familiarity with the nuance there, you might think this kid was from the hood because he's hood in every way except for where he came from. That's what the point that I'm making is. So it's like when we're saying it's Kendrick Lamar hood or whatever the case may be, we got to try to roughly. I haven't heard Will really give a definition to hood outside of just where you're from.
Right. It almost seems as if
Well, if you
by
can, Will,
default the
for Will,
definition takes on a
Will,
negative. What's up?
if you can you define how you define the hood guy for the
Me,
audience and the
I would
panel?
say you like LL Cool J, man. You from around the way, like you are around the way person, and
Okay.
and you're there. That's the culture of what's happening. Like this
All
hood
right.
dude that
So
skateboard is some that gang bang, is some that play basketball. Like J.R. Smith is a hood dude. He just in the NBA, so it's a problem with her JR. That might be more on his morals. So what's the
but hold on,
what's the
Will.
suburban? Because
Will.
you said suburb.
Hold on, Will. I was just gonna say this. It might be lagging on my end or your end. All right. So you gave examples. You gave people, but as far as the hood, I'm gonna unmute you. So as far as defining hood, dude, just somebody that you consider around the way.
I mean, for me, because
giving a definition.
go ahead, brother.
Yeah,
I
I
just
just want to
saying,
hear.
if you have one, go ahead and give it. But I just wanted, if it was going to be a little difficult to come up with a definition on the spot, I don't mind giving a makeshift one that I have, and you can, break it down or disagree with it or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go ahead,
it
Vulcan, and
seemed
say,
like
Will.
it almost seemed like we all have our own, idea of what it could mean. Maybe we need Chat GPT, man, to be like,
All
yo,
right.
What
hit
about
this
this?
So I'm
hood.
gonna ask Vulcan to define it and see if you agree with Vulcan's
Well, can this
defining.
be a point of compromise here? How does our music define it? Like whenever they talk about hood guys, street guys, all the different kind of terminology that's used anonymously in the hip hop culture, they give a definition in the songs. Would you be okay with those definitions, whether it's the Beyonce T.I. song or
With When I Need a Soldier?
Big Daddy has songs. All these guys have songs with a thug, with a street dude, with a hood dude is. The Game has a song about you may have been on the block, but you wasn't outside. Do you recall that song? So like he's defined the difference between two people in the hood. One's outside, one's looking through the window. He makes it clear who the hood dude is in the song.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you, Will and Victor and Dre and Coach, and is that a fair enough definition to work with? That's what people are being told is what a hood dude is.
So okay, yeah. Hey, let's go around. Let's start with Victor. You muted.
I would say yes for a short answer, just so we can get through it. And I know there's an elaboration for it.
All right, let's go with Coach.
Is the question is are we going with what they say in this music and the songs as a hood definition?
You muted.
Yeah, the question is like in hip hop music, they define roughly for African American culture what a hood, a street, a thug, whatever.
I agree with it.
All right. So we got Victor agreed. We got Coach that agreed. Will?
I can't because, even I guess,
My God.
predating hip hop, man, I think for the most part, Rick James had a song called, In the Ghetto. You know what I'm saying? I think Elvis Presley had a song called The Ghetto or something like that. So the ghetto been defined and the hood been defined before hip hop. We just the latest to speak on it. Huh?
But and we don't have to stay on this too long to Victor's points. If I can't, we can't come to some kind of agreement in the next 20, 30 seconds, we'll just keep on going. But I get the Elvis Presley and I get that. I think you might have mentioned around Rick James. Those people are operating off that definition today. Like our generation, the 40s, 30s, and 20s, they're going off of pop definitions. That's
all right.
would
Oh,
fit.
my bad, fam. Go ahead. I ain't want to cut you off. My bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm just trying to, come to.
Oh, nah. I was just finna sum it up. For me personally, I think you gotta get to know that woman, or maybe know her and know the dude she dealing with. Like, I know girls from the hood, good girls, and I know the dudes they dealt with, good dudes. I mean, everybody in the world know. All women in the world know. All women in the world know. If
All
you
right,
want
so
that
this is
good jug, you
all
come
right.
to the hood because we got problems and we need to,
do the most good.
be on something soft. You dig and really go in. So they know this. You gotta come there. But it's all about the morality of that guy and that girl and why she dealt with him. You gotta get to the particulars, man. Everybody's different.
All right, let's segue to the next question. Why do women like hood dudes? Let's start off
Them
with
suburb dudes be grimy, man. I know them dudes. Them
all
corporate
right.
dudes be grimy, man. And they
That's
be
your
bringing money to the hood for the bricks, trying to take a cut. Supporting, they deal drugs too. I'm telling you, man. Some of them dudes, I'm telling you, be burning them incense, man.
so
You
is
know what
that
I
is
mean?
that's your why? That's why women like hood dudes?
Listening to Neo Soul. I mean, that's a part of it. Like,
All right, that's part
number
of it. All right,
one,
we're gonna move it
we got
around.
the
That we got
highest knockout ratio.
we're gonna move it around. Let's get my
Look at that
let's get
picture
my
right
guy
now.
Will. It's a delay for the audience. It's a delay with me and Will. Let's get Coach in here.
You gotta put Will at the end because of the delay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Why do women like hood dudes?
Because there's a perspective of provision and protection. I'm gonna say it again. There's a perspective of provision and uh, protection, meaning people that have the hood mentality are doing hood things, which are things where violence is one of the things that they resort to. So, in order to resort to violence, you got to be tough, So there's a level of protection there. The other one is provision and providing. So they're often doing things that may or may not be illegal, but they're getting paid from it. So that's two of the three P's that women really look for. That's going to lead them towards going after that. Another reason why they do that is because they're programmed to. There's a conditioning there. As
Okay.
James was talking, as Vulcan was talking about earlier, the music is constantly talking about it. If anybody understands the power of the mind, we become that which we think about. So if you constantly keep hearing about the same thing over and over and over again, regardless if you want to or not, you're going to believe it. Then you're going to act based on that belief system. So if you're
Okay.
constantly getting told that a person is a hood and that's what you want, then eventually that's what you're going to go after because you've been told that. Then your parents might have seen that. Your parents might have been a part of that. So it's a whole mental conditioning and a programming that's been placed on from society from a long ago.
And shout out to Coach. You got some good clippable moments. My guy Victor, man. What's up, man? Why do women like hood dudes?
Soft targets, easy to attract, easy to get attention from, have resistance. It's real simple. Like that's why anything that is happening in a high frequency is because it's where the path of least resistance is.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Vulcan. Anything stood out from the panel? And the first question is, why do women like hood dudes?
Okay, so yeah, I want to make a quick little definition right here because Will is focused on this where you're from things. So he says he's making the distinction between hood and suburb. I don't think that's the proper distinction if we're going to create this dichotomy. I think it'd be hood guys and lames. That's the real dichotomy there. Even I'm looking at the lyrics for the song right here, with the T.I. and Beyonce song Soldier. And it says, when them lames be spitting at you, tell them, don't even try it. So they want a soldier. So it's not the difference isn't where you're from. I know plenty of suburban dudes who are thugs, who are gangsters, and they conduct themselves that way. They act the way, their behaviors are that way, and you can feel it and see it when you're dealing with them. Their values line up with that. They have street values. You see what I'm saying? That's different than a lame who has regular human being values. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so I think that's the real distinction there. Now, why do women like hood dudes? I think Victor said it really well. Dre, I think they said it really well. One, they're not as boring. You know, whenever you're a disciplined person, you're very routine. I've known men whose relationships start to fall apart when they change their diet because the woman used to a certain diet, or he's going to the gym more often, or he's more regimented in his when he works and he wants to schedule things out more. He wants to be on a schedule more than he did before. It can cause problems in relationships. I've had friends tell me that on numerous occasions. So it's more boring, routine, and especially in today's social media age, is boring. But, you know, let's just this weekend, let's go take a trip. Well, I can't take a trip. I got a meeting I got to do on Saturday.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? And so I think a lot of it is it's not boring. Number two is, that's already been said, when you've been told since you were 3, 4, 5 years old, like this song with Beyonce and T.I., A Soldier, or you got the Game song about being outside, you're hearing this over and over and over again. And then you see people 30 and 40 years old at the lounges and the clubs that are still saying those lyrics, and they still believe those lyrics. Remember, you know, audience out there, we're addressing a lady on the show who said she wanted the hood dude. She was at least in her 30s, maybe even 40s.
Yeah. With a son.
And then she defined it herself when he said, "When's the last time you dealt with a toxic guy?" She didn't go, "Oh, by hood, I don't mean toxic." She didn't say, "Oh, I didn't mean toxic when I said hood." She said 2 years ago, toxic and hood were synonymous to her and to him.
Wow.
So again, I would like Will to address this if he can, but just saying, is it fair to move past where you're from and get it to the actual values and culture of a street mentality person?
All right, my man Will, you got the floor. Talk to us.
All right. I don't want to make it seem like I'm restricting it to just the neighborhood guy from around the way. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, it's some dudes from the burbs that's, like you say, some official guys. So I think for the women, it's a level of
I didn't say official, but go ahead.
Yeah, because she want that soldier. Like, you gotta understand, the same dudes that been attracting women from day one on this planet, it's still them same dudes attracting women from day one. They just happen to be in this environment. So this ain't nothing new. Them same tall, yeah, you know what I'm saying, swingers, yeah, they all come for that. So it been an element of that. Like, you been loving me, you been loving my style, and them same dudes just happen to be in that neighborhood. But my question is, why does it seem like they're omitted? Because they may look like they move a certain way or they carry themselves with a certain way.
Go ahead, let Vulcan answer that. Go ahead.
Let me interject here, and Victor.
It's almost racist. Y'all said some hip hop clothing, and yo,
I
you can't omit them.
Thinking it's the definitions is more ambiguous than it really is, because T.I., I think Marlon have all came out and said, when I was a good dude, the girls ignored me, and then I put on this bad boy persona and the women love me. This is a real tangible thing. When you switch your behavior, switch your attitude, switch your values to that which you consider to be wrong on the other side of it. That's why you were trying to be a good person, so you didn't act like that. Then you realize, I don't get no respect.
I got you, Coach.
Respectable dude. Go ahead, Coach.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say one thing: Future versus Sierra. Future versus the Russell.
Future versus Russell.
What about him?
That's what you talked about right there. Sierra was
nah. Them just two dudes. Like, I mean, Puffy versus Kendrick. Like, them, or what's the dude, man? Weinstein or whatever. Like, you got to go with the guy. It's not about where you from, but it almost seemed like the way you carry yourself, if you listen to a certain music, pushes you out of the value system of being a good dude. Morality and also virility. These same dudes been putting it down. Like, we go rounds. That other dude ain't trying to go rounds. He trying to go trade stocks, go to the golf course. She ain't with all that right now. Like, man, come on, bro. Get off that golf course and go to your house.
Where you at on?
Huh? I'm
What y'all-
just saying, like them dudes you talking about who they go
I think I
for
get what you're saying.
after
I
a
think
while.
hold on, Will. I
Oh,
think what
okay.
Will is saying that the persona is the same since the ancient warriors. That perception, like Coach was saying, though that perception of the tough guy is in the hood now, but it was the same guys in the past that had that type of persona.
Let me say this real quick. I'm making a distinction between a tough guy and a street or hood dude. You know, like in the old days, Hercules.
But that's why I said perception. You know.
Yeah, Hercules might have been considered a tough guy, or but he wouldn't be a hood street dude. I mean, you can have class. You can not have a street mentality and still be a tough person. Somebody who could be physically imposing, or somebody who's a very confident person, somebody who's not a pushover. That's not necessarily a hood or street dude. And I know this in person, because when I've been around guys who are street dudes and then guys were like that, it's a bit of a conflict. Because when somebody who's confident and carries himself a certain way but doesn't have that street credibility, the street credibility person is going to try to pull the other person's car. Be like, why you acting like you ain't from the hood? Why you acting like that? They look at those masculine characteristics as hood characteristics they've stolen. When really they're showing feminine characteristics, the hood mentality. That's feminine characteristics.
Wow.
Masquerading
And I think that's on the individual guy. Like I had some names in my mind a minute ago, man. I slipped my mind, but these is dudes like okay, look at all these rappers that you do name and look at what they become. Look at the Noriegas, look at the these guys owning businesses, the whole Wu-Tang. These guys are hood dudes, street mentality,
We're
but
gonna
these
let
are
you close this.
business owners. Like, real movers and shakers out here. That's why I say you got to get with the girl and see what type of dude just because he move a certain way. Like I don't understand the definition necessarily. Like I don't know, man. There's some good dudes in the neighborhood, out of the neighborhood, dress hip hop, listen to hip hop. I mean, like it's just based on who she dealing with and why she dealing with them. You see what I'm saying?
I got you, Will. All right, so look, I think we definitely covered the hood topic. We got to retouch that because you got something, Victor?
Yo, well, y'all ain't let me talk.
They've been waiting the whole time to talk. What's going on?
Oh, I got you, Victor.
He always trying to X me out, man. He don't.
Nah, my bad. Go ahead. Talk to us.
Let me tell you something.
I get the next one.
Why these women like hood dudes? Is that what we explaining? Is that what we want to know the answer to?
Yes, sir.
They like hood dudes because hood dudes is easy like the hoes they are. Let's just get real with it, okay? These hood dudes are a dime a dozen, and it's reflected in the statistics. 5 women got their kids with the same dude. Okay, so they attracted. No, yeah.
Hold on, Will. Hold on, Will.
There's an 80-20 rule that's here, okay? These folks reproduce with the people that reflect the way that they was raised. Their mamas was hoes, their daddies wasn't shit, or they was promiscuous. They all come from the same type of behavior. Hood is a behavior. Hood is a path of thinking. That's why, like, if you take 2 people from 2-parent homes that are sexually disciplined, they'll be less attracted to people from single-parent homes where they was more promiscuous. When you hear hood dudes, they got like this window from age 10 to 13 where they all jumped off the porch and they was doing whatever they was doing. The same window of time in that age, the girls was jumped off the porch, was doing whatever they was doing with whoever they was doing it with. They've been getting the women been getting attention from old men since they was 13 until their titties popped out and their butts popped out and everything else. And then the dudes that has been out here getting attention, because of the money they made, how fast it was coming to them, and whoever they had access to when they was outside, they've been seeing that for years. So they haven't had any value for what someone from a 2-parent home would discuss. See, we got to talk about the origin of why a person's attraction is what it is, and which is why I say, like my man Will said earlier, said it's almost taught like y'all racist. Well, we're not the same. There's a matriarchal split in the Black community. Specifically, 54% of homes are ran by single mothers. So 54% of the population is households is ran by women. 80% of the children are raised in single parent homes by 75% of women who are unmarried. Okay. And they reproduce with that 75% of women reproduces with 15% of men that are single fathers and baby daddies. So that's a 5-to-1 ratio. The people that come from two-parent homes or either homes that even have men in them are patriarchal homes where they respect men. Men have different principles. We make different decisions. And even if there's some guys that were in the hood homes, they was raised by their grandmamas. They've been chasing vagina all their life, so they don't have the same value for women. And then those women don't have the same value for men. So trying to expect someone that's raised out of a hyena clan to respect what horses value is crazy. It's zebras and horses, man. You know what I'm saying? Horses and zebras they might be the same phenotype and the same species, but they're not the same mentality, not the same animal. They don't use horses. They don't use zebras in war. They train horses to go to war.
Okay. My man Victor cooking right now. Hey, coach, man, got anything to set out? Any disagreements? Share your thoughts.
No, man, I think he pretty much covered it, man. It's just I understand what Will is saying, I really do, but I think he's overlooking the fact that that definition really comes down to that mindset and that value system, really. But I get it.
Okay. All right. So I wanna read some comments. Jessica Lynn Fraser.
For my timeline.
All right. All right. So women like street dudes because being intelligent and quiet does not speak to the protected. Women believe men should. Oh, okay. Let me start it off. Women like street dudes because being intelligent and quiet does not speak to the protector. Women believe men should be because they didn't have a male figure worth a damn in their life. Shout out to Jessica. All right, so
I want to address that comment real quick.
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
So women like street dudes because being intelligent and quiet does not speak to the protector. I do think that's true on the surface, unfortunately, but I think that if we can get fathers in a home that are being fathers and living and teaching principle, you understand that for the most part, the trouble that a hood dude would get you out of is a trouble that you wouldn't have been in if you hadn't been dealing with a hood dude or in hood environments in the first place a lot of times. So, especially once you're grown, you don't have to be in those environments if you don't want to be once you're grown already. So I think most of the times people are getting in situations they're bringing upon themselves by their actions, their words, or by association. So I think what you'll find from women and generally, especially when it comes to just regular assault, not SA, but just regular types of assault, men are like 60% more likely to be assaulted physically. Women typically are going to be assaulted by people that they know, that they're close with.
By and you think
by other women especially. And then so what happens is you take a street dude, he's more likely to have the mindset of he'll put his hands on you. This is the guy who would do all kind of things that are illegal and unscrupulous. This is the same person that will also put his hands on you. So I'm not saying everybody else won't. So go ahead, Victor.
And they raise the same kind of men. The same kind of men that they hump are the same kind of men that they raise. So the worst men are raised by the worst women.
So yeah, that's the point. Will's saying something over there.
I can't even my computer acting now. Go.
Will, are you on mute?
Will. You hear me? Yeah, man. Like three things, man. Number one, it's a little wild that we trying to, I don't know, tap into women's psyche and tell them why they like what they like. They like what they like. Like, we can't tell them why they like that. And it ain't no
part one. So hold on, because you said your point. Why can't we? Because the thing is, you don't have to be a woman to tap into her psyche. You can just ask them. I mean, like, this is a well-known topic that's been around for a long time. Since we can at least say since the Tupac days, even further back than that. But Tupac's broke down. We know his life story from who he was early on to what he developed into to be the mega superstar that he became. He talks about it. People around him talk about it. We know. Sorry, go ahead, Victor. What you said?
Because why we can't talk about it?
Why can't we talk about it?
No. We could talk about it, but I'm saying it's the same dudes. It's like we mad at a subjected group of dudes that been the same dudes. So the women gonna still like them. Like, even if you over here on this, I pretty much need what you offer because this other dude ain't on it like that.
I just
Like, he
think
don't hit them spots. He don't, like you said, it might be a level of spontaneity that she wants to feel energized and reinvigorated in life. Like, it's something that can be touched that these other so-called dudes just don't offer. He might be a little too proper or prim to make. Oh, my bad.
Your first point was, so how we resolved that first point. You said, how are we going to tell the woman why she likes? I'm saying that we can just go off what she's told us. Women tell you why they like hood dudes all the time. Is that
what do they say? What do they say?
Well, hold on. Well, I don't mind getting to that, but I just want to say, you said we can't do it. I'm saying we don't have to do it. They've already told us.
Oh, nah. I ain't say we couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I was just saying it's like a little wild. I mean, any subject can be discussed. Any subject can be discussed. I mean, these are thoughts some people have, but for me, it ain't really that deep. Like, as long as I've been alive, as long as I've known people, been around, even somewhat, historically in certain histories, like, these same dudes been examined and monuments been erected. Monuments been erected to the.
Will, I'm just trying to figure out because I'm taking everything you're saying as a claim. So one claim was, how can you get in there? You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying, I'm saying that you get in their psyche by asking them questions and explain. So I'm saying, like, is it still wild to you? What's the wild part still?
For me, it's never been a look, a style of clothing, a form of music. Like, the same type of individual exists in whatever realm he's in. These guys just find themselves in present, huh?
I'll be honest, I don't know what that means. You said the same type of person exists no matter whatever realm he's in. What does that mean?
I'm saying, when you have the black woman's derriere being examined and body being looked at, Sister Rosetta Thorpe and all that, we get in all that, but the black men, the phallus statues and things like that, like, it's been what it is. Like, they like what they like, and why is it hard to say, these dudes who may be in a certain predicament right now at these days and times here in North America, but it's been like that for whoever been subjected to bondage through maybe government actions, maybe their own doing, but it was still them same dudes, and them women like them cats, man. You can't. I mean, what's hard about it? Like,
just for the audience, real quick, I'm gonna make this short.
It ain't all about money and security. You know what I'm saying? That's part of it. Security is a part of it, but she gotta live.
I don't know. Real quickly, Will, I think part of the difficulty is, as you're communicating, I don't want to interrupt you while you're communicating, but it's hard to pin down what your point is so I can really address it, because when I try to address a point you make, it seems like you jump to a different point.
Nah, it's saying, why do women like hood dudes? I know the answer isn't as easy as saying because they do, but I mean, throughout time, it's always been that way. Like, when have we seen a difference from women not liking these dudes?
Well, what will see, the thing is like basically what you're doing is just saying, let's just not answer the question and talk around it, because the question is why. You're admitting that saying they just do is not a real answer, right? So we're trying to get into the psychology and the sociology and whatever other ologies are out there of the why, and it seems like you're fighting against that.
I'm gonna come to bat for Will on this, because women that like hood dudes because they hood chicks, it's like asking, why do Muslims like why do Muslims like Muslims?
Can I speak to that?
Nah, you take these same dudes from You know,
Hold on, Will. Let Vulcan
Let me
go
say
ahead chime
this,
in, Vulcan.
and I know Coach can attest to this as well, because I know he and I aren't married. But I'll tell you this: I don't know how long guys have been married on here, but the streets ain't like that. I meet most women I meet that are not from the hood or anything like that. They still prefer hood dudes. Now they want a hood dude who's got a business. They want a hood dude who got something going on for himself. But this is somebody who has been in a single market for almost 5 years now in multiple states. You know, and did it at a somewhat high level. I can tell you, most women, lawyers, corporate, whatever you want to say, real estate, whatever you want to say, doing it big, they prefer a man with a street edge to him. That's what I've noticed.
It's a fetish. It's no different than a dude that likes a particular type of woman. I keep saying that these women, whether they come from the hood or they outside of it and grew up in the suburbs, it is a fetish. No different than a man wants a certain type of stripper to dance on it. No different than he wants a certain type of woman to look at it. Man, I've been saying hood dudes are the real sisterhood for the longest. You know what I'm saying? They're raised by women, and then they act out emotionally like women, and women find that attractive because they feel the way that they display themselves gives them an opportunity to be themselves. They don't feel like they can be themselves with a dude that ain't going to
preach right now, brother.
But do y'all know that? Do y'all know statistics have shown? Statistics have shown.
What's your thoughts, Coach? Can you agree with what Vulcan is saying, and anything else you want to share for the audience and the panel?
Nah, he was on point. I agree with that, man. I agree with you. What's the last one just spoke? What's your name, bro?
Victor.
Victor. Yeah, I agree with you that, man. They share the same lack of emotional intelligence, so they can relate to that. You know,
they are raised by women.
Here's the thing, and I'll just say this, and I got to do is that when you're dealing with somebody that's going to force you to grow, that's uncomfortable. Yes. And you got to mature to the point. If you're a hood individual, it's easy to be with another hood individual because you understand each other. You're not going to force each other to grow. But if you're a hood individual and you're trying to get somebody else that's not that, they're going to force you to grow because they're going to force you to be uncomfortable because they're going to force you to be something that you're not already. And if you're not ready for that, that's not what you want. Because most people in life, they grow to a certain point and then they stop growing. Just because you're growing, just because you're getting older doesn't mean you're growing up.
Nope.
I want to piggyback off what Coach is saying right here. Sorry, Will. I want to piggyback off this point real quick, is because I just want to be specific about the growth, because Will and other people on the show have brought it up before. Growth as far as like making money in business, that requires growth, but that doesn't necessarily require spiritual growth or emotional or mental growth. It's one thing when a woman finds a street dude who she could, be in astrology and all kind of superstitious stuff because this guy was raised by a woman, kind of thinks like a lady, and is not a spiritual leader in the household. She's the priestess in the household because he's way off. But when she gets with a guy who's more logically minded, more sound, that's more scalable thinking, not just for making money, but just what's going to be allowed in the household, what's not going to be allowed in the household, what's going to be presented to the children, what's not going to be presented to the children. Now, these are moral things. These are spiritual things. Like I'll use an example, a certain person I was at one point in time, she just loves her some Nipsey. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, Nipsey and his persona and what he stood for, some good things, don't get me wrong, but some things that I definitely wouldn't stand for. I'm like, it's really his people versus my people in a real way. It's really his people. There's the gang members, the gangsters who move a certain way, have an organization, a very powerful organization that's very well branded, versus those of us who believe that street activity is harming the community, and we want to get it out of the community. I always use the movie Meteor Man as my example. You got the Meteor Man. You got two sides. You with the Vice Lords. What's the name of the
Golden Lords? The Golden Lords.
Lords. I was with the neighborhood. Yeah. This goes back to the point we were making earlier about when I was watching that movie as a kid. I said, "Man, I want to be like Bill Cosby." No jokes. I get it, y'all. I want to be like Bill Cosby when I grew up. I want to be like Robert Townsend when I grew up. I didn't want to be like the Golden Lords. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Golden Lords.
They have blonde haircuts, just to keep it real. You don't like them down
now that's popular, Drusky. That's popular nowadays. They won. They won the fashion battle.
All right.
Dennis Rodman probably started it off, though.
Nipsey was a good dude, man.
All right.
Like, yo, Nipsey was
And
him.
shout out to Help the Bear said Vocal said it, you can't measure it, you can't cut it. Victor is preaching. Shout out to Victor, usually dropping bars. Jessica Lynn said excitement is key.
But check this out, though. Check this
Also,
out.
hold on, let me get
Oh, my
these
bad,
comments
brother.
in. All right, so Jessica also said women don't want boring, safe, and protected is boring, especially when we speak about under 35 crowd. Also, phase two. Somebody got background noise. All right. What's that?
Yeah, two different.
All right, so best viewers on stream. What was this? All right. Anyway, all right. So cool. I think we covered that well. We did cover that well. Let's go ahead and jump into the next topic, fellas. All right. All right, so fellas, PJ Washington has signed a $90 million contract with the Mavs just days after his BM baby mother, Brittany Renner, tried to fight him over their son, only having $11,000 in the bank. Question I have for the panel: is it right to complain about her son only having $11,000 in his savings account? Let's
Just
bring.
so everybody knows, it's already on there about him signing the $90 million. Okay, yeah, never mind, it's already on.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna start off for Will. Yes or no for now? Will is muted. All right, go ahead, Will. We didn't hear it. Yes or no?
Nah, not right to complain. Nah, she
All
wrong
right.
for that.
Let's do Coach. I'm gonna take this off.
No.
No.
Right.
All right, Victor.
No, she can play it all she wants to.
Vulcan.
No, she's not right to complain, especially in the way she did it, the setting that she did it, from what the video showed.
You said, is she wrong to complain?
Yeah, is she right to complain about her son only having 11,000 in the savings account? Is she right?
I wish there was a I don't care feature. I mean, right to complain? Sure. Based on the fact that she can be emotional and she can say whatever the fuck she feel, fine. I've changed my glasses, so I'm talking shit from this point on, okay? She can complain all she wants to, but what can she do about it?
Oh, watch the link. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Talk to me, Will.
I mean, if he take care of his son, he buy his son stuff, he on time, 11,000 just stashed away. That's a high school graduation vehicle right there, man. Like, what is she? What is she? Just want the account to be full so she can run it up. It ain't going down like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put in what I'm gonna put in, and it's been many non-figure people who bought their loved ones just regular, Toyota Camrys or something. What you thought you getting a Beamer? Like, you ain't got no right to complain, man. You was walking. You know what I'm saying?
And for the audience that don't know, their child, I believe, is like 2 years old, maybe 2-3 years old.
Yeah, the average person don't even got 11,000 in the savings account, and he 2 years old with 11. He ready to go.
Let me get Coach in here. Talk to me, Coach. Is she right?
Man, Will just said it, man. Most adults don't even have $11,000 to their name at 40, 50 years old. So, nah, man. We both know we all know what that is.
What is it?
Greed. In the word, greed.
All right, Vulcan.
So I just want to give the audience a little bit more context. So there's a video that's viral right now where you see her and PJ going back and forth. She says, you know, it's up. Basically, she let him know it's up every time. And the big kid is right there. The kid's like 1 or 2 years old, 3 years old. Max is crying. The baby's crying the whole time, and she's going at him. She initiates the verbal, altercation and maintains it. And he's walking away, trying to do what he has to do. But the thing is, like, so this is her complaining about the $11,000 while the baby's crying, while she's being disrespectful to the father. So he did get disrespectful back, but his was simply like, man, you can suck my, whatever. That was his comment back to her. So I just want to give everybody a little bit more context because I happen to be able to see it earlier today. And I think in this situation, she definitely, if you have a complaint about money, you shouldn't be doing that in front of the kid. That should be adult to adult. And he's already doing more. He's paying her, I think, like she said, $2,500 a month in child support. So it's not like the kid's gonna be hurting for any meals or anything like that. And all of y'all have seen, states are getting real specific about that kind of stuff to where they're putting stuff on cars now, and you can only use that child support money for very specific things in certain states. I think Georgia is one of those states. So they're cracking down on it so that money can't just be used for.
It should have been like that a long time ago.
It really should have been like that a long time ago. So, with that being said, she's being well taken care of. Even if it's only $2,500, because some people live in a family off of $2,500 a month. So that kid is sitting pretty. What can a 2-year-old eat for $2,500 a month? And so she had no right to complain. And the way she did it was just downright disrespectful, and truly shows what kind of character she has and what kind of woman she's going to be moving forward with that child. And he's got to deal with 18 plus more years of that. A woman who will just talk down about you and doesn't care what the kid sees and doesn't see. Just she'll bring all kind of chaos to that child's life. Just to make a petty point that doesn't get anywhere.
All right.
I
So
thought she was on her Muslim issue. I thought she was coming in peace. I thought she was, doing the Muslim thing, relaxing and chilling. She's still wild, man.
Who cares?
What's up, Victor?
Who cares what she thinks? The person with the least amount of resources cannot make the rules.
Okay. Good point.
Right.
All right. So who carries the responsibility for building a bond with the child is resistant towards one parent? Let's start with Will.
Everybody understands the question. So in that video, she brings up the fact that, like, look, the kid is.
You know what? How about this, Vulcan? Let's just play that video. All right.
All right.
For the audience and people that haven't seen it.
You sure?
Say yeah.
It's just like a 2-minute video, a 2-3 minute video. You sure?
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Context is key. We already gonna be up here talking for another 2-3 minutes.
We may not be together, but he's in a multi-million-dollar house. He gets dropped off in a Lamborghini. He ain't hurt for nothing. In child support right now, because I get $2,500 in child support. But guess what? I can do a lot with a little. Okay, but. Okay, hold on, pause. This is what we're not doing. So every time that he does this, I'm gonna record this because that's not okay. I'm just letting you know. No, the thing is, this is the third time he's done it. This is the third time he's done it. He doesn't want to go with you. So actually show up and do something then with him. Because he does this every time. No, it's not. No, it's not. It ain't because anybody babysit him. You gonna give him his bag and stuff?
And for the audience, that's Brittany Renner's mother. She's recording this.
Of course.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's terrible. 3 weeks in a row.
It ain't because anybody babysit him. You gonna give him his bag and stuff?
That's terrible. 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, no, it's not that at all. No, it's not.
That's a clean lat expedition.
Yeah, it is.
I'm telling you right now, every single time you come here and he cries, we're gonna record that. And it's up with me. Just know that it's up.
Oh, wow.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
I didn't stutter.
I didn't hear you say it again.
Suck my.
If you had one, maybe I would. Yeah.
I bet you will.
Yeah, what the fuck you looking at?
That's on my way.
Get your out my driveway. You don't pay for sir. $170,000 to your with $11,000 in your son's bank account. $11,000 in your son's bank account, but $100 of that bill. Get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car.
All right, fellas, just to bring more
I just
context.
want to say before you say anything, Will, there goes your hood mentality right there.
Okay.
I had to.
All right. So Vulcan, go ahead and bring more clarity to the question.
Well, everybody's seen the video now. So she brings up the fact that there was an apprehension with the kid, whether that's real or contrived or not. She brings that up. So if a kid does have some kind of apprehension towards the other parent, whose responsibility is that to help build that bond? The moms, the dads, both of them. Where do y'all stand on that? Because she's blaming him, saying because of what you're doing, that's why your kid's apprehensive like that.
It's the mother's responsibility to build a psychological bond between the child and the father, because she controls the kid. I talked to my wife about something similar to this before. She said women have the psychological imprint on a child for the first 7 years of his existence. And if the woman can, imprint onto that child the value of that child's father or whatever, then the child either wins or loses based on that. So you can't expect a child to have a better connection with his father than the mother in the first 2 years of his life, because the wife or the mother of that child's had a 9-month head start by actually carrying that child, imparting the emotions, the nutrition, and everything else that goes along with the way that baby responds to stuff. So, nah, man, it comes with the responsibility of the mother wanting to balance the relationship between her connection with the child and the father connecting with that child.
Okay. All right. Let's bring Coach here.
You muted.
You muted, Coach.
I said both.
Okay.
It takes two, because one parent can reinforce what the other one is saying, and it takes both to have that structure, discipline, nurturing, responsibility. The child needs both.
Okay.
That's my answer.
All right, Will. Will is muted. Go ahead and start it over, Will. We didn't hear you.
Oh, yeah. I feel like whoever is around in the village, I remember, my bro said something when my mom got on him that my uncle didn't like. Uncle got with him. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Where am I at? Uh-oh. Hello? We good?
Yeah, we're good. We can hear you.
Okay, yeah. My uncle got with him. My peoples, we still come from that era where certain people who weren't necessarily the parent in the household would still try to get in line and try to see, well, what is the child resistant to? And, see if they can try to get the kid to understand, that the parent is doing the best they can, whatever it may be, whatever the situation may be. I've seen instances where, maybe a principal like a Joe Clark or something step in and say, yo, man, your father is a good dude. He just trying to do the best he can for you. Cut him some slack. Your mother's a good woman. So I still kind of believe in, if you got a village around you or you got good people, the wife may want to talk to her mother, and then her mother speak to the grandchild and say, baby, wham, wham, wham. You know what I'm saying? And break it down to her. So, it still take a village and whoever's around. Sometimes It could be a brother or a sister, a sibling,
Well,
saying, "Man, cut mom and dad some slack."
Well, will you answer this as far as the both of them, and you actually add the village too. Let me go ahead and get to these comments before I give Vulcan the answer. Willie Frazier says her point is valid, but her way is crazy work. Come at him with class, and it might be different. Shout out to Willie
We're gonna take
Frazier.
you to class.
Jessica says, point daycare is 1,000 a month, just for your information. Shout out to Jessica. Help the Bear says, now 18 years is a lifetime. Hey, yeah, yeah, it's a long time. All right, so Velcro babies are like that. No breaking it until the child is ready. Also, we have a two-parent household, and even our kids with dad present daily. My Verico babies did the same things. Hey, Voka, do you want to address some of these comments or anything that stood out with the panel? Feel free to address anything.
No, I didn't really want to address that point. I was just going to go back to what I was saying.
All
With a
right.
lot of these situations, we don't know, obviously, all the bad blood they've already got established up to this point, so we're just seeing it. But a lot of times, ladies will be in the way of the man bonding with his child, and before the baby's even born, just by being obstinate, not telling about doctor's appointments, all that kind of stuff, because she's mad they're not together, or he's not bowing down to her every whim. And then when the baby gets older and is starting to notice it, then she's like, okay, I'm going to use this against him as leverage to go, look, your child don't even identify with you like that. But she's already been setting this precedent the whole time, to where now it's enacted, and now she either wants you to jump through hoops to try to make it better, like basically bow down to me. You're gonna jump through these hoops now to get the relationship with your child, because of the fact that I made it hard for you in the very beginning. So now it's like the guy don't even trust you no more. You've already made poison the waters. So now it's like, I don't trust you like that. So he's moving in a way where there's less reward with the kid, but there's also less risk. There's less thing that's going to make a situation unstable, get him caught up with the laws, any of that kind of things going on, because he realized, okay, this lady's unstable. I can't have her instability affecting my livelihood. I can't even be there for my child. My child's ready and able to make their own decisions about who I am and what's going on. So a lot of these ladies will use that leverage against the man later on in life when the kid's 1 or 2, or she wants some freedom now. She wants to be to go out. She doesn't have a babysitter that she wants. Now, obviously, these people right here are wealthy, so it might be a little bit different at times. But in everyday life, as women want to explore and find their person, they're seeing the guy that they had a baby with living his best life, and she's kept him away from his child or made it very difficult to be with this child. Now she's going to flip it and turn it on him. Like, look, your son don't even, or what your daughter don't even respect you. They don't even feel safe with you.
Mm-hmm.
Barely came over here. Well, last time I said I was gonna come over there, you said he was going to act the fool. So yeah, I didn't show up. You never apologized. You never said I was tripping. So as far as I know, you still on that type of time. And so then she'll record it and use it against him when he does decide to come over there. Use it against him.
All right,
Yeah,
man.
but I think it starts though immediately with the other parent though. Whoever the parent the child is kind of cold towards or resistant, not warming up. Of course, that's your partner. Y'all laid together and made the kids, so you want them to understand you and kind of value you and try to make that man to the father and to honor that, man, and show them the good. So yeah, yes, initially, whoever the other parent is, man, and then the rest of the community.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was unfortunate, man. Let me read some of these comments.
And
Also,
somebody said
shout out
daycare
to
1K a month, and he still got 11K. Like, what are we talking about?
11K, 15K. Sorry,
Oh,
15.
15K?
1,500. Sorry about that.
Oh, daycare?
At 2,500 a month is what she gets.
And daycare is a G.
So if it's a G, that's still $1,500 left over.
There you go. And I'm sure he probably putting groceries, filling up tanks. Like she just want more. Like it's not happening. It's child support, not support you. Like Big Boy said. You know what I'm saying? Well, no.
All
What do
right.
you say? I want to see you support bra, not support you. There we go. My bad, Big Boy.
All right, Jessica.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was trying to pull up the comments. Jessica said, "How many of y'all have children?" Just curious if you have the knowledge of developmental milestones to check the difference, how it works. If anybody want to answer that, you can. And shout out Accountable Masculine said more spoiled male athletes. All right. Spoiled male athletes like thoughts. Sorry about that. All right. Well, shout out to Jessica Accountable.
Everybody like thoughts. Everybody like that.
No, I
All
don't.
right.
Not me and Victor. I know Coach don't mess with it either.
It's a
Y'all don't mess with it.
I know for a fact Coach don't mess with thoughts. Period.
it's a human.
For real?
Like,
Is that true, Coach?
That's accurate. That's accurate. I can't do it.
if I was sick,
Never in history, not one in history.
no.
It gotta be
All right.
one.
So it looked
there's
like
Nah, dang.
never.
So-
I've never ever had the need to, like, I'm not saying that thoughts ain't never been attractive, you know what I'm saying, but I ain't never been attracted to them.
I heard that. But her attractiveness ain't
Hold
never
on,
just swayed
hold on.
you over there.
Hold on, Will. You heard from Coach, you heard from Victor. Now Enos knows all the way back in the early 2000s what my stance was on thoughts.
Yeah, he been like that.
I
Since
was the one
since he
killing
was
the
like
vibe.
16
I'm the
years
one-
old.
Yeah, I'm the one at 16 years. I'm over here telling the thoughts like, why are you living like this?
Yeah, he was. He was like,
I mean,
like, what are you doing?
yeah.
what's she living like though? Like, what's she living like at
Poverty.
what age? What is
We
she
was in
living
high
like?
school.
That's
We
what
was
I'm
in high
saying.
school. So
The high
he
school
was
bus down normally was a go for anybody who could go
but
because
the
you ain't
thing
getting
with
a lot of
Vulcan,
action back
but
then.
Will, the thing with Vulcan, it wasn't some of these women, you didn't even know they was out there like that. He just it was just subtle things they would do, and Vulcan be like, "Yo, she's nasty." You know,
That's a
you in
fact.
high
That's a
school. You
fact.
know, when you're in high school, you might go out there like Victor was saying, the soft targets, the easier. As boys, some of us was doing that, but Vulcan was like, "Nah, man." So,
Well,
so
like, I don't intend to call strippers thoughts or women that's in that lifestyle or nothing like that. I don't know the woman personally, but I have seen in my lifetime some very attractive strippers, ladies who work late at night and take it off. Beautiful women.
we're gonna get to the last topic, but I mean, I don't think none of them saying they're not attractive. I guess one is to, I think a lot of us didn't want to be involved with those women. But let's get to the last topic of the day.
Hey, fellas, we gotta call it a night, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all later on.
Yeah, just holler at us, Coach. Appreciate you.
Already, Coach. Have a good one.
All right, let's go ahead and close it out, man. All right.
Doom is one form of African spirituality.
Oh,
just like you have many different branches of Christianity, you have many different branches
Catholic,
of African
Pentecostal.
spirituality. Absolutely,
It's a denomination. For lack of a
you
better
could
term,
call it a denomination for lack of a better term, right? Under the umbrella of African spirituality. So many of our ancestors who came to Haiti, if you would, they came from the region of Benin, Togo, Angola, some of those African countries. And well, all of us, no matter where we came from countries where African spirituality was practiced. Voodoo is that form of African spirituality that came with us to the islands. When we got to the islands, the slave master didn't allow us to use African spirituality, especially after the Haitian Revolution, right? Because the Haitian Revolution was founded on African spirituality. Doom is one form of African spirituality.
Oh,
just like you have many different branches of Christianity, you have many different branches
Catholic,
of African
Pentecostal.
spirituality. Absolutely,
It's a denomination.
All right, shout out.
For lack of a better term,
call it a.
All right, so y'all heard that. Let me get right into the question. Why are so many blacks turned to African spirituality? Talk to me, Will.
First of all, man, where Umar been? He ain't been popping out, man. That boy on the low, like been lying, man.
Man, he got a lot going on, man. A lot going on.
Hey, yeah, it came crashing down on him. But you just want to know my thoughts and say why are many blacks turning to African spirituality?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm gonna get on my Shaka Atmos real quick. I heard Brother Shaka speak on this about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
He said that 72% of African Americans, I guess that's us, who they considering, 72% are Christians. Now, I can get into certain things Dr. King said about it, about Christianity at its inception. He spoke on how it I ain't gonna
Well,
say
we can get to all that breakdown just because I want to
okay.
pass it on. As far as just a quick vibe, you can do it in less than 10 seconds, and
Oh,
then we give a
because
breakdown.
because I think a lot more people get more information and their eyes can be opened up now to say, hey, maybe this is something that hasn't worked for us.
Okay, all right, that's good.
You know
All
what I
right,
mean? So
not
let me
working
try
for us for the
something different.
past. All right, let's go with Victor. What's up, Victor?
I think the word spirituality gives more leeway for individual interpretation, and I think religion, the going away from Christianity as a religion, means that they're going away from structure.
Okay. Vulcan.
I think Victor made a really good point with that. That might be my number one main reason. So I'll just say my number two main reason would just be, and I think we covered this last show that we did.
You've got the organs, Victor. My bad, Vulcan. Go ahead.
So yeah, so I think my number two answer would be, and I don't know which one's actually weighted more, but I would probably lean more to what Victor said. But a lot of us that were raised in the Judeo-Christian context, whether loosely or very scrupulously, I think what happens is when you're in that kind of a situation, you don't learn a lot intellectually about it, but you do learn the stories, you learn the names, you learn the code more or less. You eat the cookies in the Sunday schools and all that kind of stuff. But you're still in everyday life learning real things, learning adult material. So you're going to first grade, second grade, third grade. You're learning about algebra, you're learning about geometry and science, and you're getting deeper into the history and the world history and stuff like that. But your theological understanding is still second, third grade because you're not going to theological classes. And it's impolite even in church to discuss theology with somebody. You're not going to walk up on somebody and just discuss theology with somebody. It's not going to happen. So what happens is, but you're freely allowed to discuss African spiritualities. You're freely allowed to discuss any other ism or ideology out there, whether it's Platoism or whatever you can think of out there in the world. Some of you are learning even in school, Marxism. You're learning all these different ideologies and ways of thinking, and you're getting an adult understanding of that. So when you go back and look at your kid understanding of theology with Christianity, you're like, that's insufficient. That's for kids. That's what I believed when I didn't know no better, when my parents told me what I had to think. And now that I'm an adult, I learned about Marxism. I learned about voodoo, and I learned about Ifa. And this stuff is a robust and it's cool and it's hip and it's taking me back to my ancestors. And I don't even ask the same questions that I might ask about from a Christianity, which is more rigid and more structured. With this one right here, to Victor's point, it's more free flowing and I can explore it freely without feeling that religious tinge to it. It doesn't have that religious feel to it. And so I would say that's probably might be number one, number two reason why I think people go into it. Just it's a lot more fun and easier to learn about than you don't get the same religious feelings, personal feelings that you did when you were going what your parents were raised you on or raised.
All right, Victor, come on. You said this is spirituality opens your eyes to a lot of things. You want to elaborate or any rebuttals or agreements you have with Vulcan and Victor?
I think we're already on the same, like frequency. And I would say here's a justification to my answer, right? The spirituality side is fluid, and the religious side is structured. On the fluid side, if you've made, let's just say, choices that taint your purity, it's easy to now just say I did it off of spirituality. if you done made a bunch of kids over here, if you're a man or a woman and you did it out of wedlock, you get to say, African spirituality says I'm supposed to, lean on these certain principles because I'm out because I'm out of tolerance with what the doctrine actually said that I was supposed to be and do. And then now after you done dealt with being out of tolerance, and you have to gauge and look at your parents' intelligence and what they showed you the right or the wrong thing to do, but your parents weren't married and you did exactly what your parents did. Now you ain't got no choice but to lean on the African spirituality as your defense. You know what I'm saying? So that's why all your most of these women with these septum rings, locks, and always rubbing crystals and talking about being witches and all this stuff, they hanging on to the spirituality. They can't be Christians and witches at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's a stark separation. And we start looking at which households produce this certain type of individual. Where they coming from? Huh? What they look like, huh? When we gonna be honest about it? When we gonna talk about it, huh? Because that's the sexually undisciplined household that's got women of the night reproducing with men that are tricks, which reproduces the whole culture. Hold up now. I'm not done. Hold up. Get the pots out, get the cups out, the bowls out.
Breathe.
All right. So all of those people are on the 54% side that I talked about before. Remember them? Remember the 54%? They spiritual, huh? They not religious. Because the people on the religious side, come on now, they believe in structure more than anything. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. We're just talking about the tenets that they follow. Now, them being loyal to their biological urges versus ruling them is the separation between the two, because you got to practice what you preach. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that can speak for you as a woman, in my opinion, from a man's opinion, is the health and welfare of your children. You know what I'm saying? Because you can say everything you want to be and all of that, but if your kids behave like savages, we know who raised them. Now, if you believe in men having a role in your life, that's going to be more so aligned in a two-parent household situation where you grew up with your father and your father had grew up with his father, and so on and so forth, right? Generally speaking, most of those people on that side of the equation are going to be more religious than they are spiritual. Your dad can't lead the household with a bunch of women and a bunch of boys talking African spirituality and then be shocked when he got a bunch of kids out of wedlock and he the grandparent of. You know what I'm saying? So generally speaking, if you grew up with a bunch of men in your family that fell into their role, stood on business and said, I don't want no daughters that's no whores, and I don't want no dudes that make whores. You know what I'm saying? He gonna stand on business and say you gonna move according to what the words say. And I'm saying that because I grew up in a two-parent household where on my dad's side it was two parents, and on my mom's side it was a single parent situation. But even then, I had a chance to compare to both of them and I look at the outcomes. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you ain't never had both parents that grew up respecting each other, you don't know what you're talking about. You literally don't. So of course I expect them people to be more spiritual than they are religious, because it gives them more freedom to justify the terrible decisions that they done made.
Wise words for man Victor.
Something, but it's on mute, I think, again. Is it? Or is it the delay?
Oh, I got you, Will.
Oh, nah, man. I say stop it.
No, I'm not stopping it. I'm turning it up.
Come on. Listen. I'm going to get back to Brother Amos real quick. 72%.
Well, hold on.
2%, 2% Muslim.
Hold on, Will. Are you about to express your disagreement with Victor right now?
Nah, I thought we was answering the question. I thought we was answering the question.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, answer the question.
Nah. Brother Vic was spitting. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times I get clarity for myself, man, talking to you brothers. Like I say, my mind be sometimes so, you know what I'm saying? Like gotta break it down to me, man. I could be a little slow. So talking to y'all brothers,
Appreciate your
you know,
patience.
certain huh?
I appreciate your patience, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh no, man, cook, bro, cook. I'm here to listen more than I'm speaking. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure it out too, man. Like everybody else, it makes sense of this because it's the Matrix for real.
straight
You know what I
up,
mean? But
socially.
yeah, I feel like the 2% Muslim community that may be here, I don't know if they counting, you know, the NOI or whatever, but that structure as well, if you take it just outside of a Christianity's realm. You know what I'm saying? But back to Brother Atmos, man, he said it was a study that was done and showed that people who weren't religious, non-religious, non-denominational, whatever you call it, or atheists, actually scored, I believe it was like 20% higher on IQ and aptitude tests or something like that. Like they had higher scores for those individuals. So like Vulcan was saying earlier, man, in some ways it's not freeing and you can get caught into a box of understanding that you outgrow. Because here's my way of seeing it, right?
All right.
I definitely
Men having
I definitely agree with you about that. People do end up in a box that they have to outgrow on the more rigid routine, religious side. That is true.
right. And throughout history, even biblically, from my understanding, have there not been men who've had several women? And
Well,
and is that
you
true?
asked the question. You asked the question. Victor, you want to answer that?
Yeah, there's definitely been history of men having multiple women, in general. And the one thing that all of those men that had those multiple women encountered was a degradation in their reputation. And those men have always been able to speak to it, which is why I talk so much about sexual discipline.
Rule number 5.
but like
Hold on, wait.
follow me.
I want Vulcan to chime in on it.
Okay.
Anything you want to
Yeah, I
answer
just want
or
to
add?
add a little bit to my understanding of what Victor was saying. He brings up a really good point. But I also want to say that just because somebody is in the more routine religious devotions aspect of their life or season of their life, what happens is people sometimes want to get rid of the shame and the guilt. So you can have two people engaging in inappropriate behavior or debilitating behavior. One can be spiritual, one can be religious. The difficulty is the religious person has a lot of shame and guilt associated with it. I know people that have said, like, I was living as a Christian, I was very devout, but I was struggling with these sins, this sin and that sin. So I started to gravitate towards spirituality more because I was going to do the same behavior in both situations, but on the other side, there was no shame left. This was about harmony and yin and yang and balance. So there is nothing wrong with me doing evil things as long as I balance it out with good things. And so there are spiritualities that are okay with evil as long as you balance it with good. Where religious is like, that's a sin no matter what you did good, that's still bad. And so the shame and the guilt that goes along with that is a lot for people to deal with. They're not going to be able to change that behavior.
Whores like spirituality.
Yeah. That's
No,
that's one thing you
no,
notice. I've been to
Disciplined
live.
disciplined people like
no.
religion and structure. Whores like spirituality.
What's up? What's up?
I peep it.
What's up,
Nah,
Will?
I'm all right. Check this out. I just want, because I know y'all are, somewhat religious brothers. Y'all follow the scripture. So I just want a yes or no answer on this. And this will help me get a couple of yes or no answers. And it'll help me get, the wires and the electricity flowing in the brain. Okay, hip hop and Christianity. Which one got more bodies and blood on it?
All right, go ahead, Victor.
Let's be real. Pick one.
I mean, what about Christian rap?
Right. Which I would believe before the rap was the religion, before the rap.
I mean,
right?
like, if we want to get, let me go ahead and answer your question because I don't want to tap dance around it. I understand Christianity got way more bodies overall, historically speaking, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Rap is limited to a very, very small sect of people and group of people in a demographic, and it is younger than Christianity in itself. So I don't think that there's a valid comparison between the two, but I'll answer it.
We can go year for year, the last, every year, and see what's
All
happening.
right, all
Yeah,
right. Well,
let me interject in there. Victor brought up a really good point, but Will, and I'm gonna give it back to y'all too. But just want to say, wouldn't it be better to just compare, hip hop with Christian rap and see who has more bodies?
Nah, because most of these hip hoppers are Christians. These guys came up in the Baptist church in the South. These is Baptist Christian boys. Trust me, I know
all
them.
right.
I
Well,
went to church
all
with
right,
them.
Vulcan. What
You know
y'all
what I'm
gonna
saying?
say? What y'all say to that? Hold on, Will.
One more
Let
thing,
them
real quick, fellas. One more.
All right, go ahead, so they can
And I
respond.
might be wrong. Was there songs in the Bible? Are there songs in the Bible?
Yeah.
Do they deal with different subject matters? Like, are any songs speaking on real life experiences that's going on? Let's say maybe a song about maybe war or something. You might got to cut a head or something.
All right. Let them answer it.
Yeah, bro. Like man's recollection of history always includes war. In fact, most poetry is about war. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will say this. I think that on that scale, it just lets you know the different compartments of a man's mind and how he captures what he sees. So history has always been recorded through art long before we were able to, actually put date and time stamps on it and stuff. So I think that that is an indicator conversation. Now, when we get down to like the perpetuation of violence, men are always going to wear that badge no matter what. Now, the reason why violence is perpetuated is a different discussion. You know what I'm saying? Will we all agree with that?
Well, I would say that the basis of what a particular religion that's basically somewhat at the top, the apex of religions, that people subscribe to, was basically assimilated from conquering other lands and other religions and taking those stories
Well, hold on, Will.
and bringing them
Are you
into the religion
Are you saying?
itself
Are you
by
saying that?
force? By force, though.
Are you
By
saying that
force?
Christianity? I'm asking the question for clarity because I want to make sure I respond to the right thing. Are you saying that about Christianity? What you explaining right now?
What I'm saying is Christianity is hip hop. You got Jesus. He rode with a gang of dudes bucking at the government that was down for, down for him. And then you had one traitor in the group. That's just like niggas from the hood. He's a traitor, a Benedict Arnold. Jesus is Tupac Shakur and Nipsey Hussle. It's almost close.
All right.
He was a little better.
Hold on, Victor. Let's get Vulcan to respond.
Go ahead. I just want to hear what he said.
All right, go ahead. No,
So
he's speaking for the streets. I like what Will's bringing, man.
Yeah, Will always
people echo a lot of these thoughts. Go ahead.
So I just want to know what about what Will said am I supposed to be addressing? Will, did something in particular? Can you ask?
I feel like
maybe you was asking about the bodies,
right? And I feel like if
go ahead.
I feel like if 72% of us,
Will, do you want Vulcan to respond to that first?
I'm giving him, I guess, a little more context of what I'm saying, so he can, do the Vulcan thing on. He's gonna break down.
Am I going to be addressing a question or a statement?
Yeah, just allow him to go ahead and address that question. Then we.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, he didn't even address the question. Damn, my bad,
Go
bro.
ahead,
I'm
Vulcan.
sorry.
Just address the first question as far as who got more bodies,
bro.
hip hop or
Appreciate it,
religion,
man.
Christianity.
I like you too, bro.
Sorry, say it again, Enos.
Who has more bodies, Christianity or hip hop?
Oh, I would definitely say that. Again, it's going to depend on how you want to splice it up because, you can have people will do things in the name of religion to accomplish certain purposes, just like they did back in the old days for God and country. If I'm going to tell people to give me their sons so we can go fight this battle for whatever reason, for Helen of Troy, whatever this battle I'm about to do, if I can invoke the gods to get it accomplished more efficiently with the fewest obstacles, that's what I'm going to do. Now, does that mean it's really for Christianity? That's debatable. Just because somebody claims to be Christian and does something, or they do it in the name of Christianity, they're just doing it as a Christian. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I want to know. If I open my refrigerator, am I opening my refrigerator as a Christian, or I'm just a Christian opening my refrigerator?
Well, I look at it as whatever superseded that and or preceded that, whatever the word, that they were able to adopt and piece together, and basically through force and separation. Like either you down with what we down with, or we cutting heads.
Let me answer your question like this. Then I'll say this: if we're gonna take Christians, is everybody that has ever identified as a Christian, then Christians are gonna have way more of a body count than hip hop has, right? Because it's been around for, way longer, like 100 times longer, right? So the thing
But can we agree that these hip hoppers are also Christians?
Hold
a lot of them.
Hold on, Will. Let him finish the statement.
I would say that these they may profess to be Christians, but I wouldn't say that they actually are Christians. No different than, and again, this is, and I know people in the audience going to hear that and be like, well, who gets to pick and choose, and it's convenient, you pick and choose what people are. No different than if somebody was a Muslim and I saw them eating pork in front of me, right? So if you got a Muslim who's eating pork in front of me, I'm not going to say he's not Muslim because he ate pork. He could be really starved. There could be reasons. But if you got a guy rapping about how amazing pork is and how much he enjoys eating pork, I'm gonna say that's not a Muslim, because it's not a one-time situation. His value system is pro pork. That is not a Muslim stance. You see what I'm saying? So it's a more nuanced thing. But I'm not saying because somebody makes a mistake or has a one-off, it makes them not what they claim to be. But you can't be Muslim while you rapping about how amazing pork is and how everybody should eat pork. So that's why. Whatever the values of that religion is, whether it's Islam, Judaism, or Christianity, if you're seeing communicators in music communicate the opposite of that, I think we can say that they're not that.
But I think we didn't we just agree that the Bible has songs dealing with various subject matters? Why is hip hop not given that same poetic, artistic license to do the same? Like, why can't we speak on the ills of the times that we live in? Same way that, David and all of them did their thing, man. David was T-Pain. David was T-Pain.
All right, let the response.
That's what's got to be the question. What did the gospel say? See, the gospel interprets what was actually done. Everything else is just written about the account of what took place. So if you read the book in the Bible, right, everything that's in the black text is what was accounted for. And then the gospel breaks down the assessment of what was actually done. You know what I'm saying? So
and then they make a song about it.
Yeah. So you got to look at what the gospel said, not just the story in itself.
I got to look at, from my understanding.
I want Vulcan to respond to your question as far as, do you want to respond to that too, Vulcan? This first question
being,
what does the gospel say?
Oh, what the gospel say?
Well, I was responding with what Will was saying as far as
my bad.
How come we can't look at the Bible as I ain't forgotten that.
Yeah, I mean, no, I remember what he said about that part. He says, doesn't the Bible include real life stories and psalm and all that kind of stuff in music? We 100% agree, but nothing the psalms say. There's no psalms, there's no music in the Bible that endorses a message opposite of what the Bible communicates. That's the point that I'm making. It's consistent.
Yeah, and that's what Victor was saying. So
the Bible.
Well, sorry, real quick. Hip hoppers do the same. Hip hoppers rap a message that's consistent with the values of hip hop. They're not consistent with the values of Christianity, but they are consistent with the values of hip hop.
I thought Christianity said it was a time to get busy. I thought the Bible said you can get busy on somebody.
What do you mean by busy? Because that can mean different.
Then it says the time to kill, right? It's a time to kill, right?
And so
we killing. Christianity be killing. Them boys is like, hey man. Them boys is like black ops, man. They coming through conquering. They did their thing, man. You know what I'm saying?
let me give Will some grace and support what he's saying right here.
Appreciate
There's even a part of the Bible where Jesus, as far as the gospel is quoted, is saying, I come in peace, but with a sword. Meaning I came here to talk to you, you know what I'm saying, like man to man and be a professional. But if you want smoke, I got smoke too. You know what I'm saying? I'm on whatever you want, you know. And Christianity is rooted in war, you know what I'm saying, that nobody really wants to talk about. So
that's hip hop. Christianity is hip hop, man. I'm telling you.
And even when they say spiritual warfare, even at the time of Jesus' crucifixion, and when it was written that said, you know, why is he forsaking me, when he's talking about his Father in heaven, right? There was also another context of what he was saying, because all of the angels in heaven was ready to go to war to liberate Jesus when they saw that he was about to die. That's the vision that he saw. So let's not act like the angels in the Bible was Care Bears.
Okay. All right. Before Vulcan respond, I want you to chime in on this. Help the Bear says, proven men will fight harder behind a religion versus doing it because of whatever reason.
Yep.
You will know them by their fruit. Talk to us, Vulcan. Whatever stood out, disagreements, talk to us.
So yeah, I'm trying to do my best to try to remember some of the points that were brought up. As far as like, you know, I didn't come to bring peace with a sword. That's the spiritual warfare that he's talking about, as Victor pointed out. So that's true. And even when you talk about the angels and stuff like that, Jesus is an innocent man being wrongfully convicted. So yes, it is just to defend them. So they could have defended, but like Victor pointed out, you know, he says, you know, why have I forsaken me? That's a reference to Psalm 22. And so, yeah, in that situation, he's foregoing his right to get vengeance and justice to die on the cross for sins. So my point is that
he said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. And that
absolutely right. Yeah, so I just want to say that sword in that context was meant to be like a spiritual separation, saying kind of what the point I was making earlier. There's right and there's wrong. There's the saints, and then there's the people who are on the side of evil. And the whole point is saying, like, I have come to make a division, to divide these two up. It's not kumbaya for everybody. There is a war going on.
There's disciplined and undisciplined people, and you got to pick a side. I keep saying this. See, Christianity is binary. You either on that side or you on this side. It ain't no in between.
That's divisive, divisive.
That's what it
That's
is.
divisive, bro. Like, we're caught in a paradigm of, because the gospel said when there's African spiritualities and other forms of worship that predate that, but that doesn't hold any weight, because you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that not hold weight when number one, they plagiarize some of those so-called pagan religion? They plagiarize some of them so-called pagan religions. Like Jesus and them, from my understanding, weren't calling themselves Christians. Were Jesus and them calling?
You got anything you want to respond to, Vulcan? Oh, Victor, go ahead. What are y'all?
I'm telling you what the word said. The word said that you ain't gonna worship no God but this God.
That's why they're going to African spirituality and stuff that predate that. They don't want that GMO. They want that original recipe, man.
Let me finish, Will. And regardless of what we think, someone is drawing a line in the sand and saying that there's your side and there's our side. Period. Point blank.
Whether it's football, whether it's religion, whether it's mathematics.
Yep. If you believe 2 + 2 is 6, then take your ass over there. That's just it.
Hey, Terrence Howard came out a couple years ago. You know what I mean? Hey, what do you say? What do you say? 1 + 1 is 1 or something like that, man. Hey,
come on, man.
Hey, come on, man. Come on, man. Transgender flight, man. But hey, he was on to something though. We laugh at him, but the boy was actually on to something that a lot of people called him crazy about. He said the math ain't mathing, and I'm gonna show y'all. I'm with that. Sometimes you gotta step out of what you think you know and go talk to Terrence Howard, man.
All right. Let me ask you. You want to respond before the next question, Vulcan?
The thing is, what is difficult because we'll be hitting 3 or 4 points, and I'm trying to remember like the first one, second one. I'll just say in general because you brought up a lot of points.
I think I got ADD, fam. I think I got a form of ADD for real. I think I do.
Yeah. I think a lot of us African American guys got diagnosed with that as a kid, Ritalin, all that stuff. So I'm with you on that. So one of the things about what predates, I want you to, if you don't mind, we'll just pick a point and let's just focus on that for a little while, for at least like 2 or 3 minutes between you and I. What point? Because you brought predates, you want the non-GMO, blood. Just pick
like the question like the question says, which one will serve black people better? We've had 72%, probably higher, since we've so-called been here or been in and out of bondage. What have we seen but basically more division? Even the so-called rappers.
All right, so division, that's the one. Let's
brothers.
focus on that. Let's focus
So
on that.
which one will serve them better if one thing ain't working?
Hold on, Will. What you think? Well, how would you answer that?
Me?
Which one would serve us better? Yeah,
spirituality or Christianity?
What?
Well, I think like brother Dr. Martin Luther, or the great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, like, number one, he basically acknowledged plagiarism, but he said, maybe I offered my people up to something, wanting things to just be kumbaya or maybe be as exemplary of the scripture. Like
oh, narrate it down.
Kurt Franklin had the song, man.
Will. It's either, it says which one will serve black people better?
Oh, my bad.
Or Christianity. He's gonna go around and and then we're gonna go into the why afterwards.
How would you think? African or Christianity? Which one?
Or Christianity.
And I only got to pick between the two. I can't say neither one of them.
Hold on. You played the video already?
No.
This guy's wilder right now.
You can't make but a left or a right. A yes or no.
Yeah. They got me picking one or the other, man.
At the same time.
Got all that shit. All right, meet your background.
This wasn't the video right here, but it was the Umar.
Oh yeah, I did play the video. I played the Umar
video. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just like you have many different branches.
We watched that one.
Many different branches
Catholic,
of African
Pentecost.
spirituality.
Yeah, we played that.
Okay, so we did play the video. Okay.
Yeah.
Will, you saw the video and everything?
Yeah, I saw it.
So one thing. So you're saying which ones you picked?
Well, they say doing the same thing over and over again. Hey, no, I'm saying doing the same thing over and over again and hoping for different results.
We don't get into the why. You just give your
insanity.
Stop the cap.
Oh, but I can only pick between one of the two, right?
Yeah. Well.
We're gonna go with we're gonna go with the originator, the African spirituality. We're going original recipe.
My man, yeah.
None of that watered down Hennessy.
All right. So let's go with
hydration.
All right,
straight up. Got to. It's humid out there.
Which one would serve black people better, African spirituality or Christianity?
You asking me or you asking Vulcan?
Oh, I'm asking you, Victor.
Christianity.
All right, Christianity, Vulcan.
Christianity, man, not even close.
All right, so let's get Will. All right, Will. So why? Explain it. Keep.
I mean, like my man was saying, man, like Brother Shaka was saying, the majority of us have been this.
We got that.
You see from my lens and from my view, just how damaging it has been to the community as a hip hop. I don't know how that escapes everyone.
Will, so name some things that's damaging to the community, just for the count on audience. Name one thing.
Kurt Franklin has a song, something like that said, I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold, or something like that. And there's been other songs.
Hold on, Will.
There's been other songs like that too, though, saying that kind of.
Will, what I'm saying is just state one thing that's hurting Christianity, how Christianity hurt the black community. Just state one thing.
I'm getting to it, fam. You know I'm long-winded. I gotta
we
cook
got
a little
we
bit.
got the
My
audience.
brain. Oh, my bad. Okay.
Yeah.
It
Once,
reinforces being docile at some points.
all right, we
I
got that.
feel.
Let's rock
Okay.
with that. All right, let's rock with that. Victor, you want to respond to that?
Yeah. African spirituality follows feelings, and Christianity follows structure, order, and discipline.
Okay.
And generally speaking, the 54% of single parent homes are led by women or dominant women going to be more spiritual, and then the men that's gonna that lead their homes going to be more Christian.
All right, what you think about what Will was saying as far as Christianity made us more docile? What's your thoughts on that?
I think
Agree or disagree?
I disagree.
All right, disagree. Vulcan.
Man, so much to uncover, but in fairness, I'm not going to rebut what's been said so far. I'll just make my positive case for what it is, and then we'll get into the disagreement here in a little bit. But so the question is, which one will serve the black community better, African spirituality or Christianity? I'm saying it's Christianity, and I said it's not even close because we can look at what's actually taking place in history. All these religions came from the same area. So it's not like there's a geographical conversation here. They all come from the same continent, right? All of these religions. And all the people come from this same continent, right? And then they're all competing, just like any other thing. Mathematical theories compete, scientific theories compete, economic theories compete, and we're gonna see who wins. Who's gonna build the best infrastructure? Which one's gonna spread the best? Which one's gonna spread the furthest and the deepest? Which one's gonna create institutions of science and mathematics and all those kind of things? We've had time to be able to see. Which one builds the strongest communities? Which one brings the strongest military? Which one brings the strongest, philosophers or thinkers? Christianity started off in a place where it was illegal to be Christian for over 300 years. When it was nobody in power that was Christian for that first 300 and something years, was nobody in power that was Christian. They didn't have the sword. They still spread in spite of all of that. Took over Rome. To where Constantine is like, hey, look, from now on, anybody can be what they want to be. And it's the largest religion in the world now. African spiritualities in a continent way more populated than where we are here can't even spread in their country. There's how many countries in Africa? They all got different practices. Most of them is not even written down. So my point is saying, how could you compare? Christians were taking the orphans in other places and taking the orphans and the kids that nobody wanted and raising them Christian. No money, no power. That's what they're doing. And they're still doing it today. Look at all the hospitals around where you. What are they named after? You're not going to see Voodoo, hospital. You're not going to see Ifa Hospital. It's not going to happen. But Christianity, they have hospitals in Africa and India. Everywhere you go, you're going to see Christians over there with a little body. They're not getting no
And I
money.
wonder what they shooting them up with in Africa.
Hold on, you
wonder.
never met those missionaries? These missionaries are broke. Missionaries are broke with mosquito bites all over them. We saw the guy who went to that tribe and they hit him with the spears and he passed away. He got no.
I'm not finna say there's no good Christians, just like I'm not finna say there's no good rappers or hip hoppers.
What's your African argument that's gonna beat what the Christians have done in their time? Hospitals, foster care systems, science, Copernicus, Galileo, Isaac Newton, everything you want to see.
Apartheid, slavery. Who did Isaac Newton and Galileo?
Will.
Who did they study under?
Will.
Who did
First, Will, you still talking? Hold on, slow down. Respond to his question as far as these African spiritualities. Who's competing with Christianity as far as their contributions to the world? Hold on, Victor, so you can hear me.
Who did all these Greeks and Romans study under?
On that level?
Who did all these Greeks and Romans study under? They the understudy. You can attribute good to Christianity just as you contribute as much bad. Almost 50-50.
Will, first answer the question.
Ip-Man or Bruce Lee?
Jean-Claude. Now, buzzing.
You can pass up the tutor now.
I do want to ask Will,
He don't become him without Bruce.
What's your sources as far as who study it? Where you getting that from? What's the
Who's
primary
studying
source?
what?
As
What do you
far as
mean?
these people, the Europeans, you talk about the Greeks, they study underneath who?
No, he's changing.
Right.
That's we're not talking about the Greeks, talking about the Jews and the Christians. They detested all other religions. That's part of why Rome was deleting them, because they refused to bow to Caesar, and they weren't messing with Jupiter and Mars and them. They weren't messing with those other gods. And so that's why other civilizations hated them, because if you were around the Greeks, you could be Apollos, you could be Zeus, and it's just fine. It's like baseball card. The Christians and the Jews was like, that's a fake God. That's a fake God. You don't mess with that. They're like, what? You only got one? We only do one. Everything else is fake. Like their audacity. So they weren't borrowing from nobody. They weren't trying to get. They detested everybody else around them, and that's why they were hated so much.
All right, so that's one question, but
They
I still
plagiarize the work and the culture,
hold on,
man.
but Will, we still haven't got your answer. What spirituality is competing with the contributions that Christianity brought to the world? Just answer that one question for us. Name a spiritual practice.
The devil is meant that they brought to the world, man. Like, let's not overlook that. Why y'all looking at the good and not the bad? Everybody else could be bad, but this stuff didn't get started on plagiarized work.
We'll get to the bad. I want to have this. I want to have
that
get to that part.
Go ahead.
I mean, I want to give Will the opportunity. We can get into the bad for sure, but I'm just saying, it's just on the good side. We'll get to the side you want to get to. Can you name a spirituality that is done as much as the church has done in the time it's been existing?
I can talk about the bad.
I mean, you actually have debates out here which say even before the Prophet Muhammad or before Jesus, you had Islam in practice, or you had Christianity in practice, not by the name. So when
you answer the question,
yeah, because you have something, you're holding on to something that's constructed from something earlier anyway, just called by another name. Just called by another name.
Let me tell you something. The only reason they talk about the bad, you know the reason why people talk about the bad, because they lost.
What?
Yeah, like the reason why people say, well, Christians killed a whole bunch of people, this, that, and the other. The reason they talk about that is because the other side lost. We are already talking about war. War is part of asserting influence, and regardless of how we feel about it and where it came from, how it's perverted, everything returned back to the source. You know, when they talk about Christianity and how it was derived from the 42 laws of Ma'at that came out of Ethiopia and East Africa, ultimately Christianity whooped everybody's ass, and that's what it came down to. You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's cool.
Every category.
That's cool. But at the highest, oh my bad, brother. I'm sorry.
Let me finish, because Christianity came from a tactical approach. Okay, now one thing that I could say too, historically speaking, Buddhism is 5,000 years older than Christianity, and the other part of it is that I believe most religions are just geographical, you know what I'm saying, languages to speak to God in their own interpretation, meaning like God in an Islamic territory is Allah, you know what I'm saying? In Christian territory, where Western ideology, English speaking people, or either Christian speaking or Christian dialect, Christian culture, they speak to through Jesus, you know, and whatever. You got people that believe in other denominations of the same faith and in similar biblical interpretation. They still speak to God the same way. You go, go to Japan, they practice Shintoism in some places in rural Japan.
But I could never myself personally.
Hold on, Will.
Oh my bad.
There's Korean Baptist churches. You know what I'm saying? So my point being is that you can go through whatever portal you want to. Ultimately, Christianity whooped everybody's ass.
All right. So before I get Vulcan to chime in on that, help the best to Africans were docile when it came to war. Shaka Zulu said, "Y'all are soft, and he started deleting multitudes of his people. Fact. Historians have definitely stated that about Shaka Zulu.
Yep.
Hey, Vulcan, anything stood out with Will or Victor?
Well, there's obviously too much to cover, and and both, Will's definitely keeping it fun. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you for that, Will. So he mentioned the Shaka Zulu thing, but this thing right here, and goes back to the point that I was making. Dinesh D'Souza brings up a point about having a crayon understanding of Christianity. But the thing is, we know Christianity so well. That's why we're able to speak to the good and the bad of it, because it's so well documented around the world. We have our own naysayers. We have people we have atheists who study the Bible. We got agnostics. We got Christians. We got Muslims, because it is the most published book and the most stolen book. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, when we compare it to these other places, and he's going, look at all the bad stuff Christianity's done. Well, nobody's been big enough to do all the bad that Christians have done, right? Because nobody's been that big. Nobody has that kind of numbers. And secondarily, we don't know, because these societies didn't even have written languages. Sometimes they didn't understand to write things down to keep a record of it. That wasn't something that was in their culture and their spirituality.
Each one teach one.
They couldn't teach it, couldn't pass it on. So that's part of it too. The Aztecs were sacrificing over 2,500 people of their own people every single year, and so the thing is, their own people doing that. There's stories when you look at the Bible days in the Old Testament, they were beating the drums when people would sacrifice their babies to Moloch or Astaroth, whoever it was. They had to play the drums loud just so the parents couldn't hear the babies crying, their own babies crying, being sacrificed to the gods. So all these different Africa was doing all kind of vile and wicked things, including enslaving their own people and hurting their own people, just like the Native Americans, before Christianity showed up on that shore.
Yeah. And see, my thing is, like, with all of that going on with different, religious practices, how do you stop at one? Number one, because it's most popular, but also when historically they don't even necessarily pay homage or accentuate the truth of the people who these stories come from and where it originated from. You hold up.
But wait.
Number one, within the
Will,
Christian church.
You make a lot of statements, but can you address what Victor and Vulcan said? What are your thoughts about any
That's what I'm saying. Like my man Coach Dre said, at the inception, certain things got to be understood. So before we jump into that, how do we stop? Because number one, we said, people score higher on IQ and aptitude tests as non-religious. So why do we hop into a religion with so many different ones and say we're going to stop right here when these people have shown numerous times not to even respect the African spirituality that was in place?
Let the panel answer that.
This is the second time about higher IQ with non-religious people and stuff like that. Now, I want to say this. Christianity's goal was never to make people the most highest IQ or the most intelligent. I think IQ-wise, I think people that are considered like Jewish typically have the highest IQs. But but apart from that, the point that I would make is this right here. The studies show that people who are devout in their Christianity have the longer marriages, have shorter divorce rates. So that's more Christianity's focus than having a high IQ. Matter of fact,
longer than the Nation of Islam, they be married a long time.
In Acts 4:4 in the Bible, they kind of brag about being unlearned men who have wisdom, but they were unlearned men. So the Bible doesn't pedestalize IQ as high as maybe our society does today. It would prioritize strong families and strong values and morality, and that the studies suggest that is definitely in the Christian family's favor.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing for me.
We done enough, Will. So I'm gonna just get everybody do their closing statements on this topic. All right, go ahead. You start with you, Will.
All right, man. Like, I just don't know how many countless people, at least here in the wilderness of North America, that look like me, have had to grow with an inferiority complex while looking at a deity that has no features of your own, but every storyline out of that align with people that would probably have your features. Just that alone in the fractions just within the religion itself. How do I sign up just alone with that and stop right there and say, yeah, this is it? Because these cats who put this book together said that was it. You know what I mean? Like, do we gotta get Billy Carson in here, man? No, I'm joking, man. But honestly,
All right, go ahead and wrap it up, Will, so we get Victor here. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, those are like some of my final statements, man. And like I said, I related to hip hop because y'all know, man, I feel strongly about the art form.
Okay.
These guys are these same people that you read in these books. All the stuff they go through was documented allegedly, and that's the same type of trials and tribulations, but it gets no love because we living in it, and we I don't know, man.
All right.
We're looking down on the downtrodden, man. We can't do it.
I appreciate that. Well, with the closed statements, let's get Victor in here on this topic.
I believe people made hip hop their religion, and it's been stated multiple times in quite a few different bars. I love rap, I love hip hop, but I know how to separate entertainment from reality. There's a large section of our population that has not been raised with fathers that could tell them the difference between the two. Nope, Will, nope. Stop it. I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like rap is single mother music. They glorify the women. I did it for my mama ass niggas. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta say this.
Let
him cook.
Let me cook, bro. You had your chance. You turned the crock pot off. I'm in this motherfucker on the hibachi. Okay?
Language.
Oh, my bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm saying it, and I'm being honest and objective here on this, right? I love the very thing that people complain about, but the difference is my connection to it is no different than watching a really good movie and watching Django and saying, yo, that was a good movie, and then being able to separate that from going to work or whatever it is that I do, and I got to interact with somebody that's not my race. I look at hip hop the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, there's lessons in it if you want the lessons, because you can go find any genre or flavor of any type of entertainment to get whatever type of feeling you want, dignified from whatever perspective that you want it from. If you want to hear a good story about what's on the street and get the context, there's an artist for that. If you want to hear bars and people express their emotions in a way that lets them know, you know what I'm saying, that they're not alone in the creative space of being an artist, whatever, there's an artist for that too. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not pigeonholed. It's not locked into one spot, and you can get whatever you want to get out of the art in itself. You know what I'm saying? So much so that Christian artists became rappers. They didn't have to be rappers. They could have got it out a different type of way. But eventually, that's how powerful rap actually is. People had to start rapping to get somebody to listen to them because they wanted to hear the ABCs. You know what I'm saying? The twinkle, twinkle, little stars on their own little melody, because that's how people learn. That's how it starts. So it's up to the responsibility of the artist, and it's up to the responsibility of the user. No different than a gun is only as powerful as the discipline of the people that pick it up and use it. So if you looking from the outside in, you can make whatever assessment you want, but unless you on the other side of it, you got to really be honest about who's using the gun and why they're using the gun. You got to look at who's loading the gun and why they loading the gun. And you got to look at who they pointing it at. I'm just telling people to be responsible. I love Conway the Machine, Griselda, Big Crit. I love all the gangster stuff. I love all of the drug music. That's my forte when it comes down to it, because they tell the best stories and the most honest and the most vulnerable. Everybody else is making up stuff. I prefer you to be real. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get up and go do exactly what you did, but I can relate to it because I've done things in that realm that required the same energy. Now, all the other goofy stuff, you want to get out here and kick your shoes and dance and all that stuff and twerk, that's for you. You know what I'm saying? That ain't me. But I'm listening to it for a completely different set of reasons than somebody else might be.
Okay. Shout out to Victor. It's always good to have you on. And let's get my man Vulcan on to your last closing statements.
Yeah, Will and Victor already cooked, so I'm not going to say a whole lot. I'll just say, as far as the answer to the question, and for the audience to understand why I approach the conversation the way I do, I'll just give this brief summation of it. So, African spirituality versus Christianity, what I tend to do is to compare what people find the most compelling about religions, the art, the science, the mathematics. What is it doing intellectually? What is it doing, as far as culture, family, community, hospitals, everything, all the different kind of things, education, all those things are what matters. And so when Neely Fuller talks about the different, avenues of human life that are impacted, you think it lists like 9 different things, banking, government, all that kind of stuff. Well, if you look at all those things, who's had a bigger impact in the world than Christianity? Any ism, no ism is going to compare. And so so the African spiritualities, you can go to one country in Africa and see a bunch of different spiritual practices being practiced. And they've been that way for a long time, and they're going to stay that way. They're not writing things down, and they're staying the same, and they're not helping people outside of their group. There's only a handful of religions, and most of them, like Christian, that actually go out and proselytize. That's a very uncommon thing for people to do religiously. Most religions aren't out there evangelizing people and trying to convert. Jews, you're not going to see a Jew converting like people like that. Not saying that's completely missing. There are a small group that does, but if you ever talk to people who are Jewish, they're gonna act and communicate like they don't need you to be part of their organization. They're not tripping one way or the other. And so that separates Christianity in a major way. Also, I want to make one other distinction about Christianity. Other religions say you have to do this thing or do that thing to be right with God, right with the universe, whatever it is. Christianity says you can never be right with the universe, right with God. God has already taken the steps for you. All you got to do is put trust in God and put trust in Christ specifically, and the work's done. Now you become part of. See a motorcycle in the background over there, but now you become part of the body of Christ. So I just want to say that all other religions say do this to attain this. Christianity says you'll never be able to do all that to attain that. So it's been done for you. You just got to put faith in it. That was a revolutionary message that only one religion has. That's my
All right. So, for the audience, thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out to Coach. Shout out to my guy Will. Always a pleasure. And Victor and my guy Vulcan while we're doing the show. Definitely is always an honor doing the show with my partner and our guests on the show. So until next time, please tune in Mondays at 8 o'clock. Please like and subscribe. And until next time. Say what?
This is 8 o'clock.
Man? Huh?
Oh man. You still hear me?
No. Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm here to stand on my soapbox and proclaim that to the world.
On this show.
This is the hottest show on the planet right now.
What's the debate? Ain't no debate.